corner. That too on Sounds. It's also on FM. And of course, both games are available online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
The Scottish Premiership
from BBC Radio Scotland.
Good afternoon everyone and welcome into Fir Park for a fixture that so often flourishes in the Scottish Premiership. It's Motherwell against Celtic. There was late drama in the three matchups last season, with the away sides having the final say. Stuart Kettlewell's Motherwell are on quite a run this season, 6 wins in the last 8. They lost here against Dundee last weekend. And Brendan Rodgers Celtic's run of consecutive domestic victories was stopped by Aberdeen, but a spirited point in Bergamo has galvanised the team, says the manager, and he knows just how difficult this fixture can be. Both sides are out on the pitch. They've been through the formalities of the handshakes. Motherwell taking their position to the left of our commentary position in the main stand this afternoon, wearing the claret and amber. They're getting into formation. Celtic just move into the huddle on the right side of the pitch, not far away from the away stand, the Tommy McLean stand at Fir Park, which houses the away supporters. A packed full side of Fir Park with the flags waving as the players duck down to go through the final instructions. Celtic wearing their green and white hoops with the white shorts, the white socks with the green trim. And Kasper Schmeichel breaks away and runs off to the goal to our right, wearing his full pink goalkeeper kit, with an applause for the Celtic supporters, with the Danish goalkeeper looking to get back into the run of clean sheets that he picked up to start the Scottish Premiership season after conceding goals recently against Ross County and Aberdeen in the league. We're almost ready to go. The referee at Fir Park this afternoon is David Dickinson. Lennon Miller, influential young midfielder for the Steelmen, is ready to take kick-off. The whistle blows and off we go for what promises to be an exciting fixture on the late Sunday afternoon action. We will keep you up to date with all the going-ons at Ibrox between Rangers and St Mirren. Meanwhile here, Motherwell loop the ball forward on top of Liam Scales, who's in Celtic's defensive zone. Marvin Coletta, who's in for a first Motherwell start, looks to threaten, chips the ball into the 6-yard area, and Kasper Schmeichel can calmly watch that bounce all the way across his 6-yard area. But a real exciting start from Motherwell to show their home supporters as they now roll the ball back to Axton Oxford, the goalkeeper. He passes for Dravskoski, and there Dyson Maida steps in to put the ball out of play, stabbing it for a throw-in just in front of our commentary position. Plenty experience of these two sides alongside me, with former Celtic goalkeeper Pat Bonner and former Motherwell defender Stephen Craigan alongside me. Stephen, you'll be very optimistic with the start that Motherwell have made inside this first minute.
Yeah, I think you've got to try and lay a marker down early on, that when you get the opportunity to get forward, you'll fill the box and your two wing backs will be progressive and try and put crosses in. Marvin Coletta hasn't had a lot of game time since he came. Anytime he has played, he's looked bright, he's looked lively, so it's a good start from him, but that's all it is. It's a good start. Eventually Celtic will grow into the game and they will dominate the ball.
A long 90 minutes to play. Stuart Kettlewell making those comments ahead of the game. It's naive to think they can attack Celtic for 90 minutes, but it's about taking their opportunities, and it's Celtic's turn to have one here. Good play down the right side. James Forrest zips the ball across. A difficult one to defend for Stephen O'Donnell, but he stretches out the right foot and turns it behind Celtic at the first corner of the game. 0-0 it stands.
Yeah, just Celtic, just how they're set up in midfield. It looks like it's Bernardo maybe is the holding midfield player, with Luke McCowan on his right and Atati a little bit further forward on his left hand side, but more playing as a number 10. But a good play down the right hand side that time, when McCowan getting on the ball, getting up at the space and getting in behind that Motherwell defence.
It was a fast move, the corner from the far left corner, outswinger. Liam Scales gets ahead to it at the front post, but the deflection off a Motherwell player. It looked to be Liam Gordon who was keeping close watch, and Celtic will have a second early corner inside the 3rd minute of the match at Fir Park, looking to open the scoring. Players jostling for position. Liam Scales and Trusty breakaway. It's another dangerous looking ball. Scales is there. Maida will come towards this near side back post, and the O'Donnell's there first to swipe it into the sky, keeping close watch. And just like Stephen said, that's how Motherwell need to keep an eye on things. The pressure all of a sudden twisting in Celtic's favour. Alex Baye will step forward with the throw-in. It's just about in line with the 18-yard box that Motherwell are defending. The unknown Barcelona man receives back from Maida, loops it over his head. Grabkowski, or Davors on the back of his top. The number 6 goes down, and Motherwell will take the pressure off with a free kick, with a whistle sounding from David Dickinson inside 4 minutes at Fir Park. Motherwell 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Stamatolopoulos plays, because anytime I've watched him, he played as a front two. I think he looks the most natural goal scorer that Motherwell have. But being on his own, it'll be interesting to see how he can hold the ball up. Can he run behind? Does he have the pace? Can he bring others into play, or are the midfield players going to support him? So that's something to keep an eye on as we move forward.
Fye with the header away for Celtic defensively, and there's a challenge on Luke McCowan, who's making his first Celtic start this afternoon. He wins the free kick, and Celtic will move quickly with Paulo Bernardo, as Pat mentions, the holding man in the middle, moving it across the defensive line. Forrest picks up far right side. Alistair Johnson with the early cross is deep and it's swerving away, and Aston Oxborough is commanding as he comes out of the 6-yard area to clutch that one, but the ball did seem to take quite a swerve away from the goalkeeper's position.
Yeah, but he was in a good starting position that was just critical out 4 or 5 yards out off his line, so he could come and take it. There was no challenge on him really, but it was just about getting his timing right and intercepting the ball. But according to Stephen, I haven't seen too much of him, but Stephen says he's very commanding in the air, which he's shown in that instance.
Reliably informed, I'll say there, Pat. And Motherwell have their first corner of the match as Marvin Coletta was attacking down the right side again, linking up with Sparrow. It's turned behind, and now there'll be the opportunity for Andy Halliday to go over and take in front of the Celtic supporters.
It was a brilliant run, Stuart, I have to say. He got past Aizen Maida, and rather than running along beside him, he actually cut across the front of him, so Maida couldn't touch him. Lovely little 1-2 with Tom Sparrow, and now Motherwell have a chance to put a decent ball into the box.
Yeah, left footer from Halliday, and this will be an in-swinger on top of Kasper Schmeichel as a line to contend with on the goal paint. Swerving, dipping towards the back post, the header down, goes wide. Kasper Schmeichel looked quite confident that wasn't going to trouble, but Motherwell creating the opportunity, and there was the gasp from the home supporters as they thought that one was about to tuck into the net. Lennon Miller was the man there. Celtic will go short with the goal kick. 0-0 it stands.
Yeah, if you look at Celtic's obviously team, they don't have a lot of height in the team. They've got the 2 centre halves. Maybe Paulo Bernardo would be probably the next biggest, I would assume. And the way that Motherwell set up on that occasion was that they had 3 players almost on the goal line to almost pull. I think Scales was pulled into that position, so he couldn't really attack the ball, and then the rest were around the penalty spot and splitting to go and attack the ball. So it was really well set up and well organised from Motherwell's perspective.
5.5 minutes played. Ball was back with Liam Scales in the Celtic half. Kasper Schmeichel comes to the midway point of Celtic territory and moves to Trusty. Johnston, the bright red boots. Forward pass for McCowan, lays off for Forrest. Celtic start to get numbers into the area. Forward runners. McCowan exchanges on the far side with Forrest. Johnston will now go in the overlap. Forrest loses out, and now it's Ewan Wilson who'll move away, who's been a consistent youngster for Motherwell to start the season. He's had some tough time out on loan. Was terminated in his time at Stirling Albion, went out to be juniors, gained some confidence, and someone that has a lot of confidence in the young wing back is Stuart Kettlewell. He's not been scared to throw him into the side, and he's rewarded with good defensive and forward performances as well.
It's going to be a big test for him this afternoon. When you think of Alistair Johnson overlapping and you think Luke McCowan out there, he might be outnumbered at times, and there's a prime example, 1v1 against James Forrest. At times for me, he's a little bit high, so when the winger moves the ball, he can't adjust his feet. He's done really well there, so it's going to be a massive test for him, Ewan Wilson.
So important to stay sharp throughout the 90 minutes against the champions, as Celtic have possession again just in front of their own penalty area, shooting from right to left here and towards the Davy Cooper stand. Andy Halliday steps in the way of Alex Valle as the 2 number 11s go face to face. Celtic throw just to the right of Brendan Rodgers, away technical area, and he's encouraging the on-loan Barcelona man to step up as the ball moves across to the far side with Alistair Johnston. Forrest back central for Austin Trusty, started in the centre of defence in place of Carter Vickers, who's been absent for the last 6 matches. But the big US international defender back on the bench for Brendan Rodgers this afternoon. Maida inside the Motherwell half, moves the ball into space for Trusty, who gallops forward, central spot. Left-footed pass out right for Forrest, along the penalty area, tries to tuck it in from McCowan. He won't give it up against the Motherwell defence. Celtic win it back. It's Atati, tries to slide it. Lennon Miller's covering, and he'll spin and quickly put it out of play. It takes a hit off the microphone, and Celtic will have the throw. 0-0 it remains at Fir Park.
Yeah, and that's just a one. They're all matching man for man in the middle of the pitch, Motherwell players, but when the centre back steps in, then somebody's got to go to him, and it just frees up a player, and the movement of Celtic players then get into those little spaces.
Yeah, the problem is Motherwell have got 3 central defenders and Celtic have got 1 centre forward. So anytime Celtic are building up, Motherwell have 2 spare players and 2 spare players in the centre half. So their midfield and their wing backs and their centre forward are really going to have to put in a lot of legwork because they're going to be outnumbered.
Motherwell looking to try and make something happen here. Scales turns back to face Schmeichel. Stamatolopoulos will try and pressure. Bernardo juggles the ball but loses it. Stamatolopoulos tries to go around Schmeichel. He leaves it off for Lennon Miller, thrashes, and it clatters the post. He drove the ball towards the empty net, and somehow it clipped the outside of the post and goes all the way out for a throw on the far side in front of the Motherwell bouncing fans in the top right corner of the pitch. The Steelmen so close, but it remains 0-0. 8.5 minutes played.
Oh, it's a huge chance, and Paki said ahead of the game he didn't think that Bernardo would be the one sitting deeper in midfield, and he's the one that gets caught in possession. He gets caught under his feet. Stamatolopoulos is sharp, eventually falls to Lennon Miller and crashes it off the post. Big let off for Celtic, and Motherwell is a chance gone a begging.
Yeah, listen, it's a different position when you play in there. You've got to be assured. There's Motherwell on the attack again with Lennon Miller.
Lennon Miller showing confidence. He's got numbers forward. He looks to whip it out to the far right side, but it's blocked by McCowan. Stravkovsky moves it for O'Donnell, slips it through quickly. Sparrow on the spin, closed down by 2 Celtic players. Sparrow still has it. Hatati comes across. He's strong. Miller turns away fantastically. Gets fouled, does he? The referee has a look and now brings it back for the free kick. And it's almost on the spot that he struck this post earlier. Central position just outside the D of the Celtic penalty area. 0-0 it stands. Motherwell free kick. But what a start we've had inside this first 10 minutes for the home team.
Yeah, great bit of footwork there from Lennon Miller just to get away, and then he was brought down. But the free kick is in a perfect position for Motherwell, because the goalkeeper's got to set up his wall, trust his wall, and then pick up one side. It's right in the centre of the goal. What, about maybe 25 yards out? So you're able to get it up and down, and it's a difficult one for the goalkeeper to defend.
Miller and Halliday showing interest. The referee blows the whistle. Both fake the run up. Miller takes it towards goal, and it's off the woodwork again. Schmeichel stranded. Motherwell have it back. Far side on the left wing, but the flag is now raised and the move will stop.
No, sure, do you know what it is? I was thinking it in my head. Lennon Miller's hit the free kick. It's hit the crossbar and come back to him. So that's double touches. He can't have 2 touches. No one else has touched the ball, so the play had to stop.
Good refereeing, eh?
Yeah.
Something that probably most of us, with the emotion going through.
It was in my mind thinking.
Spotted.
It was in my mind thinking, is he going to blow this? And unfortunately, from Motherwell's perspective, he did. But what a free kick! You spoke about getting it over the wall, Pack, and getting it on target. Done everything right, but unfortunately, crashes off the crossbar.
Yeah, and the goalkeeper had no chance. The goalkeeper had no chance, and the wall's just taken out of the game, because you can get it up, you can dip it, and it just didn't dip enough. But 2 unbelievable moments for Motherwell, 2 off the post from the same player, Lennon Miller.
Now Celtic on the attack, but incredible start inside 11.5 minutes at Fir Park. Decision you don't really see that much with the double touch, but also Motherwell fans will be rubbing their eyes in disbelief that Lennon Miller will be doing the same. How has he struck the woodwork twice to start this game? And here he looks the ball over the top for Stamatolopoulos, who goes to that wide left position, but is excellent defending, I have to say, from Alistair Johnston. He gets his body across. The Motherwell fans are unhappy. They don't think there was much of a touch there, but his experience, shall we say, Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, it's frustrating because Stamatolopoulos was ahead of him. For some reason, he slowed down and allowed Alistair Johnston to catch up, but Alistair Johnston just throws himself to the ground. He actually, I think, makes contact with Stamatolopoulos. It is a frustration, but the referee's always going to give a free kick in that instant.
Celtic will now have the opportunity to come over the halfway line. Austin Trusty has it, far right side. Forrest looks in field. McCowan moves away, takes a little push in the back from Kofi Balmer. Now out to Alex Valle near side. He thinks about the cross, he stabs it in. Brilliant pass for Hatate. He has 3 options right. Johnston's one of them. Moves forward to the corner of the penalty area. Forrest for McCowan, who lines up the shot left-footed. That one comes up Balmer and goes behind for another Celtic corner. Their third of the first half. 0-0.
2 really good passes there. One from Trusty. He bypassed Scales and came to Alex Valle, and then that's an almost disguised pass across to the edge of the box into the space on the right-hand side from the left, and that created the opportunity.
Far side corner ready. Celtic have a chain of 4 around the penalty spot. They break away. So a deadly looking cross again. Almost there once more to head away. Celtic have the throw in line with the penalty box on the far side in front of the John Hunter stand, or as you may know as the Shed. Celtic will just let Scales and Trusty make their way back to their defensive positions for a bit of reorganisation around that attacking third. Goes back central for McCowan. Forward for Paulo Bernardo. Johnston back for Luke McCowan. The former Dundee man clips it left-footed towards Maida. He does well to get a touch, and it's pushed away by Oxborough. That was a strange looking one because you thought he might be able to grab a hold of it, but somehow it slipped off his fingertips and goes out, and it's another Celtic corner. 0-0 at Fir Park.
Yeah, I think he should have held on to it. He kind of almost was butterfingers. Yeah, there wasn't that much of a touch on it, but it came off the deck a little bit, and he just got his timing quite wrong with his hands.
Bernardo takes the corner shot for Forrest, who provides the option. Little roll back for Bernardo, clips up left-footed, but it doesn't get any height on it, and it's cleared away by Wilson. McCowan heads it back in, steered away by Drabskowski. Motherwell will chase. Alex Valle heads forward. It's Davor, number 6 again, who puts it high into the sky. It crosses the halfway line. Scales is the one who heads back towards that Motherwell back line. Forward for Valle, and now Dyson Maida puts it back into the middle. Lennon Miller with a click pass, and he charges it down again and will put the pressure onto the Celtic defence. Valle's looking for a little bit of assistance, turns away, and Dyson Maida can move the ball in for Hatate, who does well in a tight area as he fouled. Andy Halliday points in innocence, but the referee blows the whistle and signals for the Celtic free kick inside the first quarter. Motherwell 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, it's an interesting position for Bernardo, isn't it? You know, it's a completely different position because you're almost at times facing the ball. You've got to take it and you've got to get your orientation.
Celtic on the attack, and it's crossed over, and it's turned behind again by Stephen O'Donnell wearing the captain's armband. It's another Celtic corner, but just an example of how quick that pressure can be applied. Corner taken quickly. Far side short, McCowan lines up, no one charging him down, and he drags it wide. He had a lot of time and space there. He's had a couple of opportunities to think about shooting, but Motherwell survived that one, and it remains 0-0. Just a quick update from Ibrox. Rangers have taken an early lead with Diamonde scoring the goal, so 1-0 at Ibrox here at Fir Park. Motherwell 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, just going back to that point I was going to make about Bernardo. You know, he normally when he's playing higher up the pitch, he can bounce the ball off him. You know what I mean? And he just keeps the ball flowing. Here he's got to get on the ball, maybe cushion it, try to make a couple of passes, find the space to get on it, and it's just a completely different situation for him. And at the moment he got caught in the ball early on, and he just looked a little bit unsure when the ball came to him just a moment ago. Also,
Tate facing his own goal just in front of the halfway line in the Celtic half, uses Valle, who will sweep it towards Scales. Celtic will now start that movement with the back line moving towards the halfway line. Alistair Johnson being welcomed by the Motherwell fans now after that earlier free kick up against Stamatolopoulos. Trusty drilled the pass over for Valle. Has a look, there's a lot of options central. He lifts it over the Motherwell midfield. Johnston slips it through. Balmer's there to stop. Miller plays the pass back. Motherwell will get away with it. Kofi Balmer will launch that one with pace up towards Stamatolopoulos. He's running at the heels of Trusty. Schmeichel keeps it moving. Alex Valle. He asked about what the role of Stamatolopoulos would be, Stephen. He'll be chasing a lot of thankless tasks up there this afternoon, but he's doing a good job of it so far. But here is Celtic on the other side, the right. James Forrest running at Wilson, gets by, gets the crossover. Liam Gordon heads away out to safety. Celtic throw.
They're just so slick, Celtic, aren't they? You know, they're defending their own box, and suddenly 3 passes later they're getting across into the Motherwell box. They move the ball really well. Clearly the way Motherwell are playing, but so they're so compact in midfield. It's freeing up Johnson, it's freeing up Valle in the wide areas, and they're completely utilising it.
Everyone having a touch and getting comfortable. Here's Paolo Bernardo, who'll be looking to do so a bit more than previous attempts. Whipped in. Balmer again is the sliding defender. Miller stops it from going out for a corner and plays it off Alistair Johnston and wins the Motherwell goal kick. Motherwell 0, Celtic 0. But a match inside just over 18 minutes now, with a few chances. Eyes and Maida coming close for Celtic. Lennon Miller striking the woodwork twice for Motherwell.
And that's the worry, for Motherwell. You know you're not going to get 6-7 chances in the game. They've had 2 in the opening 12 minutes and they haven't managed to take one. So they're going to have to be patient. They're going to have to suffer without the ball and hope that those chances are created more as the game moves on.
Goal kick taken by Aston Oxborough. Scales is the one who wins the header. Coletta was up to battle too. Scales doesn't pick a pass with the cushioned effort, so it goes out for the Motherwell throw. Stephen O'Donnell takes just to the right of Brendan Rodgers, who looks a lot more calm than his opposite number, Stuart Kettlewell. But if you've watched a lot of Stuart Kettlewell in the technical area, you know he never settles. He's kicking every ball down there. That'll be the exact same, possibly even more so this afternoon. Speaking to reporter Martin Dowden ahead of the game in his pre-match press conference, touched on the close matches he's had against Celtic in his time at Fir Park and the point last season at Celtic Park as well. I'm not sure for players, managers, supporters how much the heart can take of the late drama this fixture has seen of recent times. You can't tell from the boos in the background. Alistair Johnston on the ball for Celtic. Here's Trusty moving for Scales and now up for 5. Celtic using that back line well with the 2 full-backs stepping up in to join the midfield line. Motherwell holding the position in claret and amber. Celtic seek for a way through, going from right to left from our position in the main stand. Johnston has it. McCowan peels into smart space on that far right side. He looks infield, left-footed pass. Kyogo gets a touch. Cushion lay off. Atati couldn't pick it up, and Motherwell get in each other's way. But the referee sees enough of a challenge from Alex Valle to award the free kick to the home side. With 19 minutes played, it's Motherwell 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, as Stephen was saying, you know, I think I mentioned before the game too, I was wondering how Celtic would he keep the fullbacks a little bit wider than normally going in as inverted fullbacks, and they're doing that and they're getting lots of space, and then suddenly a midfielder like on the left hand side there, Lennon Miller had to go to almost Alistair Johnson, and it frees up McCowan, and then the ball slipped through to him, and he's got space to higher up the pitch to go and play then. So they've just got to get their distances right and their timing right. Do you go, do you not go?
Yeah, I think you can see Motherwell have worked thinking Callum McGregor was going to play, because they're trying to stop the ball going into Bernardo at every opportunity. It's as if to say, you can go wide, you can put crosses in because we have 3 centre-halves.
Coletta wins the header. Sparrow for Motherwell. Scales across the block. Turn behind again for a Motherwell corner now. Plenty of corners inside the first 20 minutes. 6 in total. This Motherwell second. They will invite Kofi Balmer, Liam Gordon, Stephen O'Donnell to all go and join the attacking players in the Steelmen colours. Andy Halliday already on a corner from this lower right arc position. Found Lennon Miller at the back post when he headed wide. So we can add that to the chances that the young midfielders had already this afternoon. Halliday sets the ball, the assistant checks the positioning, and now the signal to take. It's a cluster around the penalty spot that the referee David Dickinson wants to have a word with. Austin Trusty around there. The other collection of players is standing in front of Kasper Schmeichel on the goal line. Halliday left-footed, high again, dipping towards the back post. Miller wins it down, it's bouncing around. Lennon Miller there once more. Celtic indecisive in the defending, but now cleared away by Alistair Johnston. And Stephen Craigan, you said just moments ago that Motherwell might not get many chances this afternoon, but they are getting the bounce of the ball in the penalty area. The shot from Lennon Miller earlier off the woodwork too, but they really want to take one of these.
Yeah, I think they're trying to take all the big players out of play. That's Lennon Miller twice. I think it's Valle who's marking him. There's a check, isn't there? There's a VAR check for a potential handball, is there?
It's been cleared and the throw-in will be taken. It's launched long into the box. Scales is up to win. Schmeichel comes out to punch away, looking to help out his defence. Davor Zdravkovsky heads it into the air. He wanted to send that one forward. Now there's a chance for Celtic to hit on the counter. A looping ball from McCowan. Kyogo's chasing. Coletta sees it back to Oxborough. Steps out the penalty area to swipe that one away. Loose ball in the middle of the Motherwell half. Maida wins it. McCowan manages to do well to get the outside of the left boot. Forrest running at the penalty area now. Motherwell stand in the way. Lennon Miller drags and looks back to his goalkeeper for some assistance, to the applause from the home crowd. And it's now up towards Stamatolopoulos. Scales over the top, wins the header. It goes out for a throw to Motherwell in front of Stuart Kettlewell's technical area. Motherwell 0, Celtic 0, approaching the 22nd minute.
Yeah, just going back to that corner again, exactly the same, wasn't it? You know, played it into the exact same spot, away beyond the back post. But you're right, as Stephen was indicating, they're taking Scales out of it, so because he's got to go back on the goal line and pick up. They're only left with Trusty actually as the main, almost header the ball around the penalty spot.
Here Motherwell on the attack again. Miller with the back heel looking for Stamatolopoulos. Sparrow strikes. It's straight at Kasper Schmeichel, who takes comfortably from Sparrow just inside the penalty area. The Welsh under-21 internationalist on his first Premiership start, stinging the hands of the Celtic goalkeeper. And now, as it stays 0-0, Celtic will come right up the other end. McCowan back to Johnston. They've linked well, but Johnston's pass is too strong for James Forrest to get on the end of, and it'll go out for the Motherwell throw. What about that chance from Sparrow, though?
To be fair, we said ahead of the game that Motherwell would have to be productive with the little possession that they've had. That's 4 chances in the opening 22 minutes, so they've managed to do that. However, the longer it goes and you're making these openings, you're having these shots and you're not getting the breakthrough, there's always that concern that Celtic have the quality through one passage of play or one piece of individual brilliance can suddenly open you up. But they've got to keep at it, they've got to keep working away defensively. They're doing okay and they're carrying a threat.
One man that's been key to it all is Lennon Miller, and it's his back heel that provided that chance towards Stamatolopoulos and then on for Sparrow. And Motherwell will take so much confidence from these opportunities that they are creating, but they will know that they really want to capitalise on one. Celtic maybe just looking to find another gear or two, such as the standard from Brendan Rodgers. And this Celtic side is at the midway point, just across it now in the first half. Celtic with the goal kick for Kasper Schmeichel to take. If you have joined us late on Sports Sound this afternoon, BBC Radio Scotland here at Fir Park, just to run through the lineup. So 2 Motherwell changes from Stuart Kettlewell. Casey and Robinson out, Sparrow coming in along with Coletta. Brendan Rodgers without his captain Callum McGregor after Champions League duty in midweek, an injury issue which he hopes to be short term. Arnie Engels, Nicholas Kuhn and Adam Ida also being replaced by Luke McCowan for his first Celtic start, James Forrest and Kyogo. Austin Trusty, the US international defender, has the ball for Celtic. Johnston out to the touchline for Forrest, looks back in field for McCowan and he'll loop it in behind the Motherwell defence. Will he get there? It goes out for the goal kick for Motherwell to take.
I don't mind that from Luke McCowan. Every time he gets the ball, he's always looking to hurt the opposition. He's not playing in that midfield area thinking, well, I'll get the ball and I'll pass it off to Rio Hatate or I'll give it to Bernardo. He's taking risks, and sometimes it doesn't come off for him, but he still keeps coming back for more, and that's it probably shows his self-belief that he has, that he's always looking to pierce that Motherwell back line, and they can't squeeze too high because he'll just drop it over their heads.
Sometimes a difficult mentality to have, Pat, as well, because you know sometimes supporters will groan if it doesn't come off, but you do need that kind of player in your team to make things happen. Yeah,
and it's getting that ball in behind the defence. When you're stretched as a defenders, then you're kind of almost on the back foot all the time, and you're waiting for that, and then you've got to deal with Kyogo also, and they've got a runner coming from midfield and a pass from midfield. Then it's a very, very difficult situation for you to deal with.
Motherwell in possession on the right side, and holding it well was Slavkovsky, goes back to O'Donnell. Andy Halliday running back to help out. Liam Gordon tried to pass it forward, but James Forrest was charging him down, and it comes off the thigh of the Celtic winger, but safely back to Aston Oxborough in the Motherwell penalty box for now. He's searching for Wilson, but only finds Alistair Johnston. Now here's McCowan again, charging forward. The layoff for Forrest. McCowan gets it back. He has a look. He's got plenty of options making forward runs. Forrest stays in that position wide right. McCowan again clips it up. Was looking for Kyogo. It won't get there as Liam Gordon heads away. Celtic hold that position just outside the final third. Paulo Bernardo after McCowan. Just slows things down a little. Goes back to the centre circle. Scales has it. Valle on this near side, links with Maida, takes the touch to open up some space. He'll roll it back for Scales once more. Trusty, Johnston turning as Lennon Miller at his heels, so he can't face the goal he wants to attack. Trusty now finds Valle this near side. He's in a bit of space. Hatate's pointing to go back over to the right. McCowan's picked the pocket. He's away. He gets the ball sitting up for him on the edge of the area. He drags it into the net, and Luke McCowan scores on his first Celtic start. He's been so involved in green and white in the attack. You can see just how much confidence his teammates have in Luke McCowan. The ball sat up nicely on the edge of the area, and it was a precision strike. Ashton Oxborough with no chance. It's Motherwell 0, Celtic 1 with 26.5 minutes played.
Well, Stephen said it, didn't he? You know, Celtic they have got that ability in the team that they can cut you up at any moment, and that was all made by Luke McCowan. He gets into a great area, he picks the ball up, he goes to pass it, almost dummies, I think, a little pass, and then gets the ball past the defender. It opens up a little bit of space, and then drills it past the goalkeeper down to his left-hand side. Beautiful goal from a player who's enjoying his game so far.
He's taken up some really good positions. You know, I was saying earlier on, but he's always looking for that Pearson pass. He's taken up lovely positions in behind the Motherwell midfield, and Celtic have the quality to find him, to get him into those positions, and he's tried a few things and they haven't come off, but he keeps coming back for more. It doesn't put him off. He's got his first start as a Celtic player. You want to make an impression. I think he's been very good in the game so far, and he gets the goal. Was it against the run of play? Probably not, but based on chances, Motherwell had 4 and Celtic are clinical.
A lot of Celtic fans have been wanting to see a lot more of Luke McCowan. There's a real excitement about a player that they feel a strong connection with, and he puts Brendan Rodgers' side in front at Fir Park this afternoon. Almost a half hour on the clock. Motherwell have a free kick on the right wing, just on the edge of the final third. Lennon Miller and Andy Halliday stand over it as they look to steer the Steelmen towards a reply to get the game level again. There's 6 around the penalty box. Celtic holding a high line right on the edge, and the whistle sounds as Lennon Miller is left all alone to take, right-footed. It's dipping towards the front post. McCowan heads away. Dravkovsky hits the shot. There's a deflection of a Celtic player, but it won't go out for a corner as Kasper Schmeichel comes sprinting out to Smiller, and he'll roll out for Alex Valle, who started that move. He was holding for the Celtic goal, waiting on someone to offer. Luke McCowan picked a bag of space in the middle in front of the Motherwell defence. It was his move forward that created opening for Celtic to take the lead. Here's Valle on the ball once more, the near side of the central area of Motherwell's half. It goes back to Trusty. Rangers were leading at Ibrox, but there's been another goal as Alex Gogic has levelled for St Mirren, so now it stands 1-1 there between Rangers and St Mirren. 1-0 here, Celtic in front at Fir Park against Motherwell. Stuart Kettlewell screaming at his players as they hold position, with Celtic trying to navigate a way around the claret and amber bodies. Trusty picks up in the centre circle, crosses a halfway line. Johnston fake to go out to the wing to Forrest, uses McCowan again, and he keeps it moving once more. It opens up some space on the near side. Valle had a look at Kyogo. He'll keep charging towards this near side corner of the penalty box. He does delicate little layoff for Hatate, tried to pierce it through. Halliday in the way. Sparrow moves, Halliday goes down. Stamatolopoulos smothered by Celtic players. Maida commits the foul, and the whistle goes for the Motherwell free kick. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1, 20 seconds short of a half hour on the clock.
Yeah, it was a free kick, but you know, Celtic 3-4 players right away counter press the ball. They've given it away on the edge, but as soon as they lose it, they're 3-4 players round trying to get it back. And of course the free kick goes to Motherwell. It gives them a little bit of respite, but yeah, Motherwell's well in the game, you know what I mean? They've had the chances, they've created chances. Celtic haven't really cut it, but Celtic are dominating the game from back through to midfield, and
physically it's tough, Packy, without the ball.
Yeah,
and I think the goal has just killed their spirit a little bit, because you could see Andy Halliday trying to press in the wide area, and I was thinking, here we go again. Whereas when it's 0-0 and you're in the game and your mind's positive, you go and do the hard yards. So I think this is the point where they have to be careful. Don't allow the game to get away from them. You said ahead of the game, stay in the fight. You can't afford to concede a second goal, otherwise it's a long way back.
Meanwhile, for Brendan Rodgers' side, defensive performance in Bergamo was praised in the Champions League 0-0 draw with Atalanta in midweek. To get that kind of start when they haven't created too many opportunities, Celtic will be a very happy one to watch for Brendan Rodgers, the Celtic manager. And his team are on the ball again in the Motherwell half at the moment. As we cross the 30-minute mark, Liam Scales over to that right centre-back position for Trusty. He finds Forrest. Hasn't really had much opportunity to run at Ewan Wilson since his chance inside the first couple of minutes, but he keeps the ball moving. Here's Hatate on the opposite side. Eyes in Maida. Paulo Bernardo turns into Stamatolopoulos. Hatate recovers for Celtic. Trusty central, has a lot of space in front. He has the option to go left or right. He uses Johnston. He has a look up, teases the ball in towards the back post, and that's an important header from Stephen O'Donnell, just getting in front of Dyson Maida, who just ghosted in towards the back post, as he so often does, Dyson Maida. It was a bit awkward for Stephen O'Donnell, but he defended it well.
He did, and he got his position really well, and got his head to that ball just as Maeda was stepping in to head it.
Lovely pass from Maida. Here's Hatate, left side of the penalty box. He lobs it over the top of Oxborough's head, but also clears the goal. It will go out for the Motherwell goal kick. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1. Coaching 32 minutes on the clock. Stuart Kettlewell just passes on some instructions to his back line.
Yeah, listen, you know, Motherwell has got that's almost like a bit of a diamond in the middle of the pitch to trying to deal with Celtic, but the wide areas is where Celtic are really working the ball really well. If it's a fullback that goes inside, one of the midfielders step out into that space and they get the ball, so they're moving the ball and controlling the game from those wider areas.
But also what you have, see if you play against a really deep block, which Motherwell are at times out of possession, Celtic need to have a runner, whether it's someone from midfield breaking, whether it's a wide player breaking, or whether it's Kyogo, just to drag people out of the way and create the space for someone to go and play in, and they're doing it perfectly.
So Rio Hatate do that most recently. Motherwell did get the ball forward, but they weren't able to bring it down into any possession in the Celtic half, and now Alistair Johnson will skip his way over the halfway line. He continues to drive towards the Motherwell left-back position. Here's McCowan, the goal scorer, on his first Celtic start. Paulo Bernardo moves for Valle. Alex Valle finds Maida on the left wing, takes the touch, picks up the fire in those heels again. Bernardo, Celtic moving it well here. Johnston pierces the ball through. Maida goes down, but the ball ends up in the back of the net anyway. And there's a claim from the Motherwell players for a handball. Aston Oxborough is now pointing that out to the referee. VAR is having a look to just confirm what's going on.
I think actually, if it doesn't end up a goal, I think it was a penalty. You know, looking at Maeda running through there, he was kind of almost taken out of the game, and I think he may have fell and hit it with his hand, and it went into the back of the net past the goalkeeper. But I think there might be a call actually for the penalty here. It'll be really interesting to see what the referee
Surely
does.
The referee's assistant has to see that on the opposite side, if it's going to be a handball. He's looking right down the line of it. I mean, what else could he be looking at? He has to follow the ball in the incident that's happened right in front of him. Aston Oxborough is adamant that it's come off the hand of Dyson Maida. David Dickinson has no idea what to do or what's going on. He's waiting for VAR to tell him.
Yeah.
They did delay David Dickinson. He did have a look over to the assistant on the far side in front of the John Hunter stand, as did a few players, but there was just no movement from anybody. But the Motherwell players certainly claiming handball. Celtic players asking the question, as Pat just touched on, would it be a penalty then? Because Maida was charging into the 6-yard area. Both players went down. We're not sure from our angle because of the players falling to the ground where the ball came off of, but it spun towards the post and then took a little deflection and trickled across the goal line too. David Dickinson still stands with a cluster of players around him, ever so often touching his right ear to wait on some indication from VAR.
There must be more than just a handball.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would be a factual decision straight away. He's hit his hand, you can't score with your hand. So there must be something else going on in the background. They know they have to do the APP, so that's what he must be looking at.
And the decision is the ball was put in the net by the hand.
Oh, there was a hand. Okay, they've given it.
So no goal for
an
Celtic.
accidental clash going through. They must have called it.
The VAR signal and the free kick awarded, and it remains Motherwell 0, Celtic 1 with 35 minutes on the clock, with Luke McCowan opening the scoring earlier on. And Stephen Frail on the Motherwell coaching staff is just stepping out to the edge of his technical area, and he's showing so much calmness as he just pats the hands down on the air to say calm down, concentrate. It remains 1-0, and Celtic thought they were about to stretch further into the lead. A little bit of confusion, to say the least, between the officials as David Dickinson held for a VAR intervention. And Alex Valle will cool things down as he heads the ball all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, who'll come sliding across on his right shoulder to collect. Austin Trusty will receive the rollout. It's always interesting how that can impact the flow of a game sometimes as well, Pat, when you don't know what's going on. Everyone's looking towards the officials. You wait on the decision, and there's the deflation for the Celtic, and that may be a bit of spirit for Motherwell, that they still have that lifeline.
Yeah, well, listen, Bar, we know it's there. We've got to deal with it. Players have got to get used to it now. There's probably no excuse about flow of the game, but big moments. Yesterday, of course, there was a huge moment in that game with St Johnstone, but
Dyson might have.
We won't want to talk about it far too much.
Dyson might have known he's put the ball in with his hand. You could tell by his celebration, it was muted to say the least. We just didn't know whether there was a foul leading up to that or not.
Alex Vai will search for Dyson Maida. It's Kaleta who does well, going shoulder to shoulder in the air, and the flag raised by the assistant for the offside, and Motherwell will have the free kick to take. Stuart Kettlewell ended Celtic's 35 match winning run in domestic cups in 2020 when he was involved, and he's looking to try and get close to Celtic again. His team won't have their bubble burst by conceding that first goal. They've went behind to Celtic in recent matches on a couple of occasions, and they keep fighting towards the end, but they have had a bit of heartbreak here at Fir Park with late goals conceded, meaning they don't take any points, but they were the ones to punish Celtic at Celtic Park last season with the 1-1 draw. John Obika scoring late. Celtic have a throw midway point in their half down to our right from the main stand position that we sit in. Alex Vai has the throw, and he takes that one to Rio Hatate. It's a difficult one for Trusty to take with Lennon Miller standing in his way, but the central defender does well. Johnston slides that one through beautifully for Forrest, but it's a good covering tackle. The ball stays in the pitch, and it's an opportunity for Celtic to keep on attacking. Forrest and McCowan link up. Alex Vai has a look towards goal, left-footed shot, is comfortably taken by Aston Oxford, and remains with 38 minutes on the clock. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, my slight worry is that whenever Motherwell go and press, at times they're 4v2 at the back or 5v3. So can one of those players not step into midfield or step into a wide area, so when the ball breaks down, they're there to try and capitalise? Because Ewan Wilson and Kofi Bammer at times are doing the same thing, both standing looking at James Forrest. Release someone up the pitch, just put an extra body forward.
Vai has the ball. Motherwell half. Right-footed pass. McCowan moves towards the penalty area. Touches heavy off the chest. Strakowski trying to win. He goes down. Free kick awarded by the referee. And if you are just joining us on another bumper edition of Sports Sound this Sunday afternoon, earlier kick-off at Easter Road. Hibs taking the lead in the Edinburgh Derby. Hearts equalising. The match finishing 1-1 over at Ibrox. The game kicked off at 3 o'clock, just like here at Fir Park. It's currently Rangers 1, St Mirren 1 in that one. And here, Motherwell 0, Celtic 1. Lennon Miller striking the woodwork twice for Motherwell early in the game. Luke McCowan scoring a goal, his second league goal for the Hoops on his first Celtic start. Maida thought he'd added, but VAR getting involved and ruling out for a handball. Celtic have a free kick as McCowan is fouled, much to the frustration of the home fans. With just over 5 minutes to go to half-time, it just feels like Motherwell are in a bit of a period of frustration at the moment, with Celtic just starting to really get their stamp on the game. Pat, would you say?
Yeah, they are to a point. They're controlling the game well, Sully. They're moving the ball, they're doing all of that, but the tempo isn't quite what we've been probably used to. They're moving the ball well, but I think the movement of the players is a little bit jaded. Maybe it's down to travel, all of that kind of stuff. But and Motherwell doing their job, trying to get into good positions to defend.
Stamatolopoulos pounces on a loose ball in the Motherwell half. Can the Steelmen attack? Sparrow in a tight space as 3 Celtic players trailing. He manages to get the throw in for his side, though. He's just looking for a little bit of support to come up and join him quickly. Kaleta, who was behind, takes the throw, and it goes back to O'Donnell. He looks, there's a forward line of 3. Stamatolopoulos will peel away to the right wing, lets the ball bounce, Scales at his back. The Australian striker has it once again. Touch pass for Halliday, keeps it moving towards Sparrow. He's down in the corner looking for a little bit of help. We look back towards Kaleta, who comes up now into the final third. Marvin Kaleta. Gavkovski back for Sparrow, finds crossing space, dips it up, it takes a deflection. McCowan's there to defend, headed away, it drops out into the midfield. Ewan Wilson has it for Motherwell, left side up against Johnston. He's looking for a little bit of room to try and send the ball over into the box.
Too many touches. See, as a wing back or a winger, move the ball a yard and cross it. He took 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches, then wanted to play the ball back. he hasn't been in the final third very often. Ewan Wilson is a young man making his way in the game, but there's a mistake right away. Get the ball into the box when your body's up there. But you look now, 41 minutes on the clock, big, huge 4 minutes for Motherwell. You can't afford to concede a second before half-time. You can re-energise at half-time, but you've got to make sure it stays at 1-0, worst-case scenario.
Yeah, and I thought also they worked the ball down the right-hand side. They had an opportunity to get into the box. Scales was out, almost out, and the left back position right on the line, so he's out of the middle. So put it in there and see if... and they had about... I think there was 3 players lining up in the middle. Get it into the box.
Alex Vai has the ball just inside the Motherwell half, back to Scales. Now looks towards Trusty over on the opposite side of the centre circle. Move to Johnston again. Forrest hugging the touchline, takes it onto the right foot, has the overlap but goes alone up against 2 players. He jinks his way through past one. Doesn't make anything of the final ball though, and Stamatolopoulos does the hold-up job. Trusty chasing at his heels. It's back to Balmer. He'll now look long towards Lennon Miller, who's peeling away. Paulo Bernardo keeping watch. Motherwell want a free kick for a pull back on the young midfielder, but play rolls on as David Dickinson, the referee, isn't interested. Alex Vai now over the halfway line on this near side for Maida. Maida moves it back to the Celtic left back. Scales back for Trusty. Celtic holding the ball, just looking to stretch Motherwell from side to side. Forrest dips back into the midfield area and takes again. Trusty spins it all the way out for Vai.
Obviously Trusty playing over on the right with that left foot. He can bypass Scales every time he takes it onto his left and clips it out to Vai out here on this left hand side.
Trusty on the ball again now, stepping up, joining on the edge of the final third. Forrest right side. Johnston comes close to then go on the overlap. The layoff for Alistair Johnston. The Canadian can't get there though. The sliding challenge from Wilson that time, doing the defending. Celtic throw over on the far side, the top left of the pitch next to the corner flag. Just over a minute to play, 2 minutes sorry, until the half-time interval. We'll keep an eye on any additional time to be played. There's an opportunity for Motherwell now to try and push forward. Some good passing from Halliday. O'Donnell, he has a look, tries to slide it forward for Stamatolopoulos. Did he stay onside? Flag stays down. He's in front of Scales. Stamatolopoulos goes down. The assistant has a look and now raises the flag. And the flag will signal the offside, and Motherwell won't get the free kick that they were hoping for. Celtic do have the decision after the flag is raised, and it remains Motherwell 0, Celtic 1 as we approach the half-time whistle.
I'm trying to think, has Kyogo touched the ball in this half?
Well, it's funny, I always think that's when he's at his most dangerous, because he's going to pop up with something when no one expects him to. But he's up against 3 central defenders who aren't moving, they're not stepping into the game, they're not doing anything package, so the movement's all round about him. He's just trying to run and change direction, but you're right, he hasn't had many touches.
Celtic on the attack, right side, ball whipped over. It's nowhere near Dyson Maida, who was hoping to get onto it. First to react at Alex Vai. It's up against 2 Motherwell players on this near side. He'll have to turn back to use Paulo Bernardo. Now Scales offers the option. Calmly stabs that with the left foot for Trusty, and he'll take that invitation to move out towards the right side once again. Spreads the ball out for Forrest, up towards McCowan, keeps it moving. A couple of players I feel like having their touches for Celtic, but they still have control of the game as Paulo Bernardo's gotten a lot more comfortable in this first half after a shaky start. Johnston, Forrest moves back in for McCowan. Lovely play between the 3. Bernardo back for Trusty. Celtic almost toying with Motherwell here on the ball. Here's Alex Vai, he slides it through. Kyogo sits up, right-footed strike. It comes off Liam Gordon, who was keeping a close eye defending. The deflection takes it behind for another Celtic corner. 10.5, Motherwell 0, Celtic 1 at Fir Park.
Yeah, well, that was it, played into his feet, Kyogo, that time, and he, you know what was in his mind. He was trying to get a little turn to go and test the goalkeeper. Just came off the defender's leg and goes for the corner, but a threat inside the box.
Celtic take the corner, the outswinger dipping towards the front post. Trzaskowski heads it away. Atate's there to sweep up. 2 additional minutes signalled by the 4th official. It's back out for Bernardo. Turns back onto the right foot. Forrest is there to provide some assistance. A heavy line of Celtic numbers in the box. Johnston trying to get there. Aston Oxborough can see it over the line for the Motherwell goal kick, and there's a bit of a thought the goalkeeper wants to go quickly, as do the supporters, but his teammates in the outfield colours tell him to calm down. Will go short for Stephen O'Donnell. Coletta peels off to the touchline. Vai there to close down quickly. O'Donnell loops it over and behind the Celtic defence, but there's no advanced runners, and Trusty could calmly head that one back to Schmeichel.
Yeah, it's going to be a better ball from Stephen O'Donnell there. I think Coletta's done okay out this right-hand side. He's got himself forward at times, but he's defended well up against Maeda. That time he was getting on the ball, putting a little ball inside for Liam O'Donnell. And just a nice low pass into the striker, but he clips it over his head and gives possession back to Celtic.
Canadian right back of Celtic has it here, forward to McCowan. Scored the only goal of the game so far. Forrest back to the Celtic midfielder McCowan. Bernardo. Motherwell are holding a really narrow shape in the middle again. They're just trying to close things out, and you feel see things through to half time to regroup. Trusty has been chased by Stamatolopoulos, who has had to do quite a bit of that for his involvement, and he's had the opportunities up around the Celtic penalty area, has applied the pressure. He'll just need to keep doing that for his team and his own sake in the second half. Hatate moves to Trusty. Can Celtic find a second at the end of the first half? Kyogo made the move out to the right side of the central point, but Oxborough will gather, and that passes down. So the 2 additional minutes have been played. The referee has a quick look at the watch as Oxborough takes his time in restarting with the ball in his hands. And now the whistle in David Dickinson's mouth, and there goes the half-time whistle. A frustrating first half for Motherwell, who hit the good work twice through Lennon Miller, and then up the other end, not so long after, it was a goal from Luke McCowan in his first Celtic start, dragging into the back of the net. Half-time at Fir Park, it's Motherwell 0, Celtic 1.
And it's taken a deflection behind for a corner kick. Final minute and a bit of the first half. It's 1 Rangers 1, St Mirren 1. And welcome to listeners on FM who are joining us for the final minutes of the first half here at Ibrox. Diamonde giving Rangers the lead. Alex Gogic heading in the St Mirren leveller. And Rangers have been below par, but they have the chance here to whip this corner in. And it's going to be Czerny from the far side. Low, it's flicked on, and then it was past the far post. Not sure who got the final touch there. It's
why is the referee giving a corner here? Balogun headers that towards goal, and the ref's giving a corner. Astonishing decision.
Well, the St Mirren players, as one, sprinted to the referee, which usually tells you something. I have to say, I didn't actually see who it really came off, but
Balogun headed it. Yeah. He'll give a foul here, the ref.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Make something up.
Corner from Bayrami on this near side, right on top of Balcom. The goalkeeper punches it. Could have caught that, I think, but Olasanya controls on the edge of the box, and he's out on the far side now, and he's done well. Olasanya are into the final 15 seconds of the 4 added at the end of the 45, and Rangers free kick, and I think Larry Balcom could have caught that.
Yeah, goalkeepers, it's a dying art catching the ball. Goalkeepers, more often than not nowadays, punch the ball. You're right, he could have come and taken it and taken the pressure off. Now St Mirren need to defend another free kick after this sharp pull from Olasanya.
We've hit 49 minutes. This will be the last action of the first half. Rangers 1, St Mirren 1. Czerny on the far side, in with the left foot. Gogic heads it up, it's right into the 6-yard box. Balcom comes, and this time he takes it really well. Strong take from the St Mirren goalkeeper, and that is the last action of the first half, and a few smattering of boos around Ibrox because it's been a slack first half performance from Rangers. They did take the lead against the run of play with their first real attack of substance when Nico Raskan thumped a shot in from the edge of the box. It took a deflection on its way through to Ellery. Balcom, who made the save, but Mohamed Diamonde was lurking edge of the 6-yard box to just tap in the rebound. St Mirren at that point had a golden chance to go in front when Olasanya was played in behind. He took probably one touch too many, and in the finish across Butlands failed to find the far corner, and it was off target. Rangers then took the leads, but St Mirren did get back level. Corner over on the far side, right into the 6-yard box. Brilliant delivery by Mark O'Hara, and Alex Gogic rose highest to plant it into the bottom corner. Rangers have had a couple of chances. Casemiro had a slash at one, which I think was a cross, which ended up coming off the woodwork. Bayrami at the back post was unmarked after Gogic deflected a clearance into his path, but he put it into the side netting. St Mirren have looked dangerous. Olasanya in particular, his pace has caused a few problems. He's got in behind a few times, but Rangers really not been at it in this first half. St Mirren much more like the St Mirren side we've seen do so well in the last couple of seasons. Half time here at Ibrox, it is Rangers 1, St Mirren 1.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
The 1,000 Mile Challenge for BBC Children in Need.
BBC Radio Scotland is literally going to great lengths to raise money for BBC Children in Need this year.
Our swim team is going to attempt to swim 24 miles in 5 days. That's more than the length of Loch Ness.
We'll be joining with other BBC teams from across the UK as together we try to clock up 1,000 miles.
We'll bring you a splash-by-splash account of how it's going with regular updates on mornings.
Together, swimming 1,000 miles for BBC Children in Need. BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Time with me, Richard Gordon. Already a 1-1 draw between Hibernian and Hearts. Mikhail Kuharevich putting Hibernian in front. After 65 minutes, James Wilson, the substitute, with a late equaliser. Half-time in the two matches that kicked off at 3. We're bringing them both to you live. Rangers 1, St Mirren 1. Diomande and Gogic the goals there. And Motherwell 0. Celtic 1, Luke McCowan scoring to give Celtic the half-time advantage. So let's look back on the action from the opening 45 minutes. We'll start with Stephen Thompson then. At Ibrox, well, Thomas described as a smattering of booing. There were certainly boos around Ibrox Stadium. This has not been, in terms of the scoreline, I guess, Stephen, what Rangers would have been looking for off the back of that fine midweek win in Europe.
No, the intensity levels are nowhere to be seen. It's been so poor from Rangers. I mean, I know you said I was going to put you to sleep before the match. A lot of these Rangers fans probably are thinking of going for a wee nap themselves because it has been so poor. Like sideways passes, back passes, 1 or 2 efforts on goal really in the opening half. But you have to give St Mirren a massive amount of credit. They've been excellent. Started the game ever so well. They had a glaring opportunity. Oli Sanya 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, misses the target completely, just totally chokes his shot. And then Rangers scored completely against the run of play, it has to be said. And then St Mirren obviously get back into the game. A great header from Alex Gogic, and St Mirren deserved to be at least with the point just now. Rangers, I mean, you look at the game last Sunday and you say to yourself, that was so poor. Here's a home game after the reaction they showed on Thursday night, which was an excellent performance. This is just back to what Sunday was, and this is a home game, so there's a lot of questions to be asked by the Rangers manager in there at half-time. Really poor performance, and the fans are right to be booing them off the pitch there at half-time, because that is nowhere near the standard that is expected here at Rangers, and that's the problem for them. The whole of the season, it's one good game, one bad game, one okay game, one bad game. They can't get a level of performance consistently good, and this is nowhere near good enough for the standards that are expected at this club.
Is it not just further example, further proof of the lack of quality, top class quality that Rangers have in that squad right now?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the recruitment hasn't been what they would have liked it to have been. I think in terms of strength and depth, they don't really have it. The manager's made 4 changes today, but it's not had the impact he was hoping for in terms of freshness, because the tempo has just been so slow. And you're right, the quality isn't there, and maybe that lends itself to the lack of consistency in terms of performances. They've shown that they can perform at a high level. They've done it on a few occasions this season, the Malmo game and the game against on Thursday against Steaua Bucharest, but I think it's when they come up against teams who are well structured and they've got men behind the ball and say to you, right, can you come and break us down? And that's where the quality comes in. They've not got players who make big differences in matches to go and cut defences open, and they're really struggling out here this afternoon to do it. But again, to kind of go back to it, St Mirren's performance has been excellent. In terms of energy, it's been night and day. St Mirren have been in Rangers' faces non-stop.
Yeah, and that was going to be the next area I was going to ask you to develop, because Stephen Thompson spoke beforehand about all the feelings of his side last time out and where he expected them to improve. By the sound of things, he's got that, hasn't he? He
has, and clearly last weekend hurt him. I mean, it was a rubbish performance against Hearts, and nothing like the team that he's built over the last couple of years that have been doing so well. So it's about getting back to what you know you're good at, and what St Mirren are good at is being energetic. It's been hard to play against. It's been, in terms of pressing the ball, been in the opposition faces, and they've done that the whole game. Stephen Robinson will be absolutely delighted with this first half performance. The challenge now is Rangers, well, I say this, but Rangers cannot be as bad in the second half. It's can St Mirren keep their intensity and keep their levels going for the next 45 minutes. That's the big challenge for them.
Stephen Thompson and Thomas Duncan there at Ibrox. You will find live second half commentary should you wish to listen in. BBC Sounds, you'd have to go to Radio Scotland Extra. You get it on digital, medium wave, and of course online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, where you'll also find Motherwell against Celtic. That can be accessed also the BBC Sounds app and on FM. And it's Stuart Mitchell who has been commentating on all the action there.
Yes, Richard, we're used to a frantic finish in this fixture between Motherwell and Celtic, but it was the start that sparkled in this one, and it was the Steelmen switching on first. Lennon Miller striking the woodwork twice at the start of the game. The first was a mistake from Paulo Bernardo on the edge of the Celtic penalty area. Couldn't gather the ball, he was pressured. Motherwell worked it to Lennon Miller, who was outside the box. He struck it towards goal, and it was empty as Kasper Schmeichel was all at sea, and somehow he could only find it outside of the left post. Then later he hit the woodwork again. It was a free kick this time Lennon Miller had, and almost the same position from his earlier effort. It was a wonderful free kick. Schmeichel was stranded, and it collided off the top of the crossbar and came back out for a double touch for Lennon Miller. A point perfectly picked up by Stephen Craigan in commentary, something that we don't see very often. And Celtic took that as a bit of a warning sign. They took command of the game after that. Maida went close with a header that tested Aston Oxborough, but one man who's been key for Celtic in this one so far in the first half is Luke McCowan. He's kept the ball moving, he's linked up play so well, and he's been finding pockets of space, and that's exactly how the first goal was created. Alex Valle stood on the ball, he waited on some movement. There was a big circle opening up in the middle in front of the Motherwell defence. McCowan picked up that area, received the ball, turned, got a little bit of a break, and he struck a precision shot away from Aston Oxborough into the back of the net. And on the first Celtic start of his career, he was the one to open the scoring. A couple for Dundee already this season, a couple now for Celtic. He's shooting his way up towards the top of the scoring charts, and he's a player that Celtic fans have a really strong connection with and want to see a lot more of. Celtic and Brendan Rodgers thought they were about to get a second goal. The ball was slipped through. Dyson Maida was charging into the penalty area. He and Stephen O'Donnell fell to the ground. We couldn't see, but the ball hit off a body part and trickled in off the post across the goal line. There was confusion on the pitch, everyone looking towards referee David Dickinson, and after a long delay it was checked by VAR and adjudged to have been connected with the hand. The goal was ruled out. There was a bit of a conversation on whether there should have been a penalty for Celtic on that occasion, but the incident was checked by VAR and it was viewed not to have been a foul by Stephen O'Donnell. A free kick awarded for Dyson Maida's handball. The goal didn't stand and it finished at half-time. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1 through that Luke McCowan goal. But in this fixture, I said it in commentary, Motherwell and Stuart Kettlewell never have their bubble burst when Celtic score first. We've seen so much late drama in this fixture. Are we about to see more in the next 45 minutes? Half-time at Fir Park, it's Motherwell 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, Luke McCowan separating the sides. 5 goals now for the campaign. He's got up and running pretty nicely in his Celtic career after the move from Dundee. He's actually more of an experienced player. You think of Luke McCowan as a youngster, but what is he, 26, 27 now, Luke? One very young man is, Liam Miller, who has done just incredible things for Motherwell, of course, over the course of his time there, Lennon Miller, and coming so close, Stephen Craigan, in the first knockings of the game, twice in the space of 2 minutes, hitting the woodwork, which would have made a heck of a difference to this one, wouldn't it?
It would have, because you always think if there's going to be an upset against either half of the old firm, particularly Celtic, you normally have to get the first goal and you've got to hang on for dear life. So whenever you go behind, it can make it that little bit more difficult. I think Motherwell will feel a little bit, not hard done by, but the fact that they've created 4 good opportunities. Lennon Miller had another couple of headers from set play from corner kicks, and Tom Sparrow had a good shot from about 15 yards. So as well as Lennon Miller hitting the post and the crossbar, you don't tend to create those kind of chances against Celtic, particularly just in one half. So they'll feel a little bit hard done by. They haven't got a goal for their decent build-up play at times. Yes, they've suffered defensively, as in out of possession. We all knew that was going to be the case. You're never going to outplay Celtic. So, yeah, a bit of a disappointment, but if they can get the next goal, then it's really game on.
I'm assuming the players are beginning to re-emerge. I can hear the bit of restlessness in the crowd there. Remember the two matches as things stand: Rangers 1, St Mirren 1. It's Motherwell 0, Celtic 1. You can get live commentary online for both Rangers St Mirren, also on Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds digital and medium wave. Motherwell against Celtic, BBC Sounds online, and of course on FM as well. You make your choice.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder. From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome back into Fir Park for our feature commentary of Motherwell against Celtic. The Celtic players just coming back out from the tunnel. Motherwell have been out for a couple of moments, just going through some pre-second half instructions that have been passed on by Stuart Kettlewell. Looking to get back on level terms after Luke McCowan's opener in the game, and that a little bit of a lifeline with Celtic having the ball in the back of the net, but ruled out by VAR, put in by the hand of Dyson Maida. But still something Motherwell will keep in the back of their minds with the chances they've had in this first half here at Fir Park this afternoon, and they will not want to let Celtic get the next goal. Be so important to come out and start a similar way that they did in the first 45 minutes, the Steelmen. Meanwhile, Celtic looking to capitalise and stretch further ahead as they look to return to that position at the top of the Scottish Premiership table. Celtic get the second half underway and will look to take comfortable possession and work it forward. Here is the goal scorer, Luke McCowan, back out wide for James Forrest. Doesn't appear to be any changes by either side. McCowan showing that tenacious play again in the middle, winning the ball back. Paulo Bernardo, who's been sitting in the midfield three, a little bit deeper than Rio Hatate and Luke McCowan, giving away the throw-in for Motherwell, who are winless, 31 against Celtic in all competitions, drawn 5, lost 26. That's since a 2-1 league win under Mark McGee back in December 2015. Celtic on quite an impressive away run against Motherwell. They've won each of the last 9 and scored 30 goals in the process. Motherwell will always hold on to the performances from last season against Brendan Rodgers' side. Keep that confidence, keep that hope, and to add to their points tally already this season. Ball given away by Balmer Maida's coming through the Motherwell defence, and it's covered by Liam Gordon. But again, that's not the way you want to start the second half. It was almost cheap play given away, and Celtic will go back on the retreat from the throw-in. Stephen Craigan, former Motherwell defender, captain, and Pat Bonner, former Celtic goalkeeper, alongside me watching this one. And Pat, Aston Oxborough would have been happy to see that ball come across the face of his penalty area there, and almost let Dyson Maida in for the chance.
Yeah, you can't play a square pass that across from almost a wide position across your 20-30 yards out, and suddenly Maeda's onto it like a flash because he's got that electric pace. It was good anticipation by him, but that pace has you're putting the ball at risk, and you don't want to make any mistakes early on in the second half to go two down. That's for sure.
And he's the one player you don't want to entice into pressing, because he presses so well. He's so aggressive. Yeah, he's so aggressive, so don't tee him up for it. It's a real risk, Kofi Balmer.
Maida has been praised by his manager for that pressing play and how much it does for the team. Brendan Rodgers highlighting that earlier in the season. A couple of electric performances again, as we've come to expect from Dyson Maida. Liam Gordon, who was doing the covering for Motherwell, has been consistent in the defence for the Steelmen since arriving from St Johnstone. And now it's Motherwell who are on the attack. Lennon Miller picks out Sparrow on the left side. The number 7 whips over the left-footed cross. It's towards Stamatolopoulos. Scales defends it. Coletta will go and retrieve outside the penalty area. Back for Stephen O'Donnell. Vice-captain wearing the armband in the absence of Paul McGinn. Coletta now picks up, sends it forward. He's looking for Stamatolopoulos. It was a good move from Marvin Coletta, the on-moon Wolves man. He was just trying to find the target of the Motherwell striker, but he put it too close to Kasper Schmeichel, and the Celtic goalkeeper was able to gather. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1.
He did everything right, didn't he?
Just needs to relax at the big moment. Just relax. He gets too excited, doesn't he?
That was it, absolutely, Stephen. But I've been impressed with him, both from his defensive qualities and getting forward into very, very good positions.
It's his first Motherwell start. We need some time just to gather that sharpness of starting matches and getting more minutes under the belt for Motherwell. They still have a number of injuries. We know Slattery, McGinn, Callaghan, Payton, Nicholson, Vale, Tavares, all absent from today's squad. Callum McGregor absent for Celtic with an injury issue, which Brendan Rodgers hopes is short term. To say, I'll go through the teams if we get a moment. Play rolls on for Celtic, trying to attack. Motherwell defend, and now launched forward by Davor Zdravkovsky, who gives Stamatolopoulos something to chase again, but Scales does well with it. It's back into the Motherwell half now. Luke McKeown chinking away with the ball, back to goal.
He's got a wee bit of pace, Stamatolopoulos, hasn't he? You know, and there was a moment there that Motherwell had the ball just about a minute ago, and if it was slid through, it would be another race between himself and Scales. Scales isn't the slowest either, but it's a nice challenge to them.
Alex Bailly has it. Comes back. 4 straight start in all competitions for Alex Bailly. Here's Johnston on the opposite side, near side Celtic, going from left to right. Remember, Motherwell wearing the claret and amber. They're going from right to left, shooting into the Davy Cooper stand as Lennon Miller's brought down just in front of the halfway line, and a yellow card I think was shown to Paulo Bernardo there.
It was indeed. Professional foul because he was away.
But he's very clever, Lennon Miller. The guy was praising Caleta in the first half for getting across Maida. Lennon Miller does the exact same thing. He knows he's past Bernardo, he just steps into his line. Bernardo clips him, free kick and a yellow card. But we were just talking earlier about Stamatolopoulos, and I think he's done well. You know, he's stronger than what he looks, because he's backing into Scales at times, he's backing into Trusty, he's got Motherwell up the pitch. He hasn't had a lot of touches of the ball, but I think he's been productive with what he's done.
Halliday with a lovely pass out for Wilson, left side, trying to get into the final third, but he just is let down by his touch, and Alistair Johnson will sweep that up all day long. James Forrest goes down. Stavkovsky said he wasn't touched, and the referee disagrees and blows for the free kick to Celtic. Liam Gordon's not happy, and he's screaming at the referee from only a few yards away, and he'll be dragged in for a bit more of a conversation. Who tells him to cut it out, or he'll be following Paulo Bernardo's name into his book. And
I think he's maybe forgot that he's not captain, Liam Gordon, because he was captain of St Johnstone for so long, and he's the one player. The captain is allowed to go and speak to the referee, but he's maybe just lost the plot for a little second.
Showing a bit of leadership, being vocal in a big game for his new side. Celtic have taken the free kick and went into a possession of play now with Austin Trusty. He's the furthest back in green and white. Celtic go from left to right in the second half into the Tommy McLean stand to our right, where it's packed full of Celtic supporters. Flags waving behind the goal, and Scales aims up to that side of the pitch, out for Hatate, now into Kyogo. Lovely footwork onto the right foot. Kyogo, strong save by Oxborough. Maida's there, and he slides it across the 6-yard area. There's no takers at the back post. Celtic have their first corner of the second half. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, we were talking about Kyogo in the first half. Didn't have a lot to do. He came alive. Stephen is saying that all the time. He'll come alive at a moment. Brilliant. Drops off, turns, hits a brilliant shot down low to the keeper, who made a really excellent save down to his right hand side.
Be an out swinging corner from the bottom right corner arc from our commentary position. Bernardo takes, lifts it high towards the back post. It's headed away by Stephen O'Donnell, rising highest above everyone. Hatate has it. He's hoping to get back out to where the corner was taken, where Paulo Bernardo stands. Lennon Miller does the defending in the area, and now Motherwell will look to get forward with some speed. It's Sparrow. Forrest steps in. There's claims either way for the throw-in. Brendan Rodgers unhappy that it goes against his side. Motherwell with the throw-in to take. Ewan Wilson comes across. Balmer is shouting to show that he's an option to get it back into the pitch quickly, and he'll move it centrally for Gordon. He looks for the diagonal up to the far right side to Marvin Coletta, and you understand why the Motherwell defence want to get it up there. It wasn't quite on point for the on-loan Wolves man, but Celtic forced into the mistake by Alex Bailly. Motherwell just take their time to take the throw there. Pass infield for Lennon Miller. Neat play from Stavkovsky. Halliday has it, turns it out to that far side on the right for Coletta. Swings the ball in. Stamatolopoulos swings. Now Wilson has the drive with the left foot. The Australian striker missed it, but it still sat up nicely for Ewan Wilson. He wants to take it on that left foot, and he was just trying to get enough guidance on it to test Kasper Schmeichel, but it goes harmlessly wide, and it remains Motherwell 0, Celtic 1.
It's almost a carbon copy of Marvin Coletta on the other side. The ball comes to him about 3 or 4 minutes ago, and he puts in a cross and he doesn't need to. Just relax. Ewan Wilson's the exact same. He was too tense and he was desperate to get the shot away. But that's good play from Motherwell through midfield. Stephen O'Donnell, Zdravkovsky's involved, Lennon Miller's involved, Stamatolopoulos, much better.
St Mirren, I believe, have taken the lead at Ibrox. They're 2-1 ahead now as Dyson Maida and Kyogo are trying to attack the penalty area. Kyogo strikes, deflection behind for another Celtic corner. Brendan Rodgers' side really piling on the pressure in the second half.
Yeah, it was just really down to winning the ball. You know, on the edge of the box, you'd expect defenders to come out on top, but both Maeda and Kyogo were at it, and they won the ball, and Kyogo then eventually getting the shot that was blocked.
There's a cheer behind the stand. I'm wondering if the Celtic supporters are aware of that goal update from Ibrox, but they might have something to cheer here of their own with the Celtic corner. Bernardo takes right-footed, dipping into the 6-yard area. That's a strong header away by Coletta. Hatate takes in the midfield area. He's looking back out to that far left side. And it's out for the throw-in. And Fir Park erupts with noise with the news of that goal. Just waiting for confirmation of the scorer. We'll bring that to you when we have it. Celtic restart with the throw-in inside the Motherwell half. We're now hearing that the St Mirren goal has been chopped off for offside, so it'll be back to 1-1 at Ibrox. Celtic on the attack again. Maida now chasing towards the touchline. Can he keep it in play? It's good defending, but it'll be a bit tricky for Stephen O'Donnell, who now hammers that one away upfield towards the halfway line. Is there something on for Motherwell? 2 players up against 3. Kyogo commits to the ground. Motherwell want a free kick. Nothing given. This one getting fiery around the cauldron of Fir Park. Alistair Johnston has it for Celtic. Out for Forrest. Up against Wilson, looking to find a way through the left-sided wing-back. Looks infield towards Hatate. Vai has some space. Onto the right foot, onto the left. Forrest now has it. Celtic just waiting patiently to pick their moment. Paulo Bernardo. Hatate. Back to the Portuguese midfielder. Now the Canadian Johnston. The red boots back over to Hatate, who stands in that same spot. They've worked it well. Vai delivers. It's teasing and it's headed in. And it's Alistair Johnston. The diving header tucked away into the back of the net. Superb movement. Celtic holding, patient. The cross from the left side. And Alistair Johnston has his 3rd league goal of the season. A superb diving header. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2.
Well, I was going to say the Celtic just overplaying, but they kept great control, moving the ball from right to left, and eventually when that cross comes in, and it was the full-back getting into a position that centre forwards would normally be in, but it just shows you that if you get good control of the game, you can pick your runs, and you're not afraid to go into those areas. And it was a good dive and header past the goalkeeper to give Celtic that crucial Celtic goal.
The right back turned 26 earlier this month. All his goals have been away from home this season. One against Ross County, the other against St Mirren and Stephen Craigan. That's a big blow for Motherwell.
It is. They just simply wore Motherwell down. Hatate had touches on the edge of the box. Bernardo had touches at the edge of the box. No one got to them. There was no pressure. Nobody went to engage. He took a step towards them, then backed off. So they were allowed to just keep moving the ball at will. It reminded me of the Adam Ida goal here last year late in the game, where they worked the ball really well down the left-hand side. A simple cross into the box. This time it's Alistair Johnson opposed to Adam Ida. But now Motherwell have got a huge challenge to just stay in the game, never mind think about winning it.
Celtic right back into possession again from the restart as Trusty has it just inside the Motherwell half. Here's the goal scorer of the second, the Celtic number 2 Johnston, forward for the opening goal scorer McCowan. He was away to the right side. He's in a tangle of legs with the Motherwell defence. It gets a bit scrappy down on that touchline, but Motherwell move away with the ball. Miller cuts a beautiful pass forward for Stamatolopoulos to run onto. He's up against Trusty, tries to loop it over the head of the defender. There's a little deflection, so Trusty had to stop that one going out for the Motherwell corner, and with an standing overhead puts it out for the Motherwell throw.
I have to say, what about that pass from Lennon Miller?
Brilliant pass.
It wasn't just a hopeful ball forward. He's actually really struck through a lovely zing ball. It's taken Austin Trusty out of play. Eventually got back and recovered, but great technique.
18-year-old makes things look effortless. So calm, such a strong mentality, and has brilliant quality. Motherwell throw into the middle, returned back in by Davor Zdravkovsky. Schmeichel comes out commandingly, the flag's raised on the far side, but it won't matter as the ball's in Schmeichel's hands, and he wanted to go quickly and hits it off Stephen O'Donnell, and he felt he wasn't doing much wrong, but David Dickinson disagrees and shows the Motherwell captain the yellow card.
Yeah, he just walked across Schmeichel as he's going to volley it, and I'm not sure if it was a yellow card, but you know, just it stops the play, of course, trying to build up quickly from the goalkeeper who came and took a good cross, took the pressure off Celtic.
It's becoming a bit of a villain for other Premiership sides this season. Stephen O'Donnell, he started every league game so far this season. There's one game up in Aberdeen at Tawdry where he was heavily involved and not quite cheered by the home supporters. Not that you'd expect that anyway in the first place, but he's fighting for his team, and players like Stephen O'Donnell will really need to shore things for Motherwell here to get back into this game. But Celtic are taking a further grip on the match with that 2-goal lead now thanks to Johnston's goal, and here he is on the ball looking to find his way into the final third. Was he fouled? Yes, says the referee. Lennon Miller late with the challenge, and Celtic have the free kick, and this invites Trusty and Scales forward again as Celtic go and search for a third. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2, a quarter of the second half played just before the hour mark.
Yeah, it was amazing there, that little bit of atmosphere build up, and the fans thought that obviously the game at Ibrox had taken a twist, and it just created a bit of atmosphere inside, and Celtic, the players responded on the pitch, knocking the ball around a little bit quicker than normal, and they're playing after 1-2 touch passing at the moment, and it's working well for them.
Usually like that at the start of a season. We're only in October, but such is the way events have been this season. Celtic free kick delivered in, cleared away by O'Donnell. McKeown tried to angle that back into the box but couldn't lift it in the direction he wanted. So O'Donnell will swipe it forward for Stamatolopoulos to chase again. He's up against 3 Celtic defenders, but he's putting them under pressure. That's good defending in the end by Alex Vai, because Stamatolopoulos dealt with one, he was looking to deal with a second. Stephen Craigan praising the Australian striker earlier for Motherwell. He said it's a vital few weeks himself, the forward, because he's been hit with injury-induced introduction at Fir Park, and he wants to show what he can do. It's a difficult fixture to do that. He may be able to try and create something here from the long throw. Takes his position. Tarkowski's ready to deliver.
Yeah, it's just Liam. Stephen O'Donnell, has gone right in on top of the goalkeeper, obviously trying to put him under pressure. Trusty's got in between them to give a little bit of help to the goalkeeper.
Need to be careful already on a booking. It's Balmer with the long throw now. Scales gets his head to it. Maida tries to help it out of the penalty area and does so successfully. Balmer with a lovely looking cross, but it just dips ahead of where Lennon Miller was trying to take up the position. And what about that for a kick from Schmeichel? It's low and it cuts across the grass up towards Dyson Maida. He plays it back for Hatate, who sends the diagonal to this near side for James Forrest. Drops the right shoulder, he's away from Balmer. Cushions the pass back into the Celtic half for Austin Trusty. Now Scales will spin into Motherwell territory. Rio Hatate on the left side. Maida close there offering support. Back to his midfield partner. Vai can't get his toes to it. Stamatolopoulos will try and use the support, but that one is aimless for Motherwell, and Austin Trusty can sweep that one up. Does it get to a position, Stephen, where Stuart Kettlewell might want to freshen things up in the forward line, considering how much Stamatolopoulos has had to chase and the support he's getting from in behind from Sparrow and Miller?
Yeah, I think even the likes of Andy Halliday and Lennon Miller and Tom Sparrow, they've put an awful lot of legwork, and I think that's the area you need to freshen up, because Celtic are so sharp in there, they're so crisp. Those Motherwell midfield players have covered so many yards side to side, and a lot of the time not even getting a touch of the ball, and it can be mentally and physically really demanding on you. Stuart, I think, is going to make 2 or 3 subs. He needs to bring a fresh injection of energy.
Reporter Martin Dowden will chase that information up while Celtic go on the attack here. Rio Hatate into the centre circle for Trusty, and now Johnston. Celtic can just switch it on at the flick of a pass. Forrest back for the US international centre back, finds Hatate in the centre of the midfield. McKeown, oh, lovely lob looking for Johnston, takes a good touch, he stumbles, lifts it towards the back post. Kyogo was there, it's headed away by Coletta. An important defensive header. Celtic still looking to apply the pressure on the far side. Hatate tries to turn, Coletta stands strong again. Bernardo on the ball. Hatate, Celtic just peel away so they can try and find that space to reset. Paolo Bernardo. McKeown on the right side. Alistair Johnston. Motherwell line of defence comes across to stand in the way. Again, it's that patient play that we saw just before the Celtic second goal from Alistair Johnston's diving header. Scales back out wide for Vai. Hatate had made the move into the box. Paolo Bernardo keeps it moving. And will that tiredness start to show on the Motherwell minds? We've been watching a lot of the ball in this second half. 63 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2. Celtic really happy to just hold this possession. They're in control as it stands.
Yeah, they're just popping it around, you know, one touch, two touch passing, as I said earlier.
Maida bursts into pace, puts the ball low across the box, cleared away by Liam Gordon. Celtic throw.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything more than that, Celtic. Just keep the ball moving, wait for the openings, and if the third goal comes, fine, as long as they don't give anything away. Motherwell making some changes.
Yep, so we'll pass over to reporter Martin Dowden, who's got some news of these Motherwell changes by Stuart Kettlewell.
Yeah, it will be a triple change for Stuart Kettlewell. Apostolos will be coming off. Tony Watt going on. Oh, Stephen, thank you very much. Stravkovsky is also coming off the pitch. It will be Tawanda Maswahisi as well coming on, and Zach Robinson will come on, and Andy Halliday will make way for him. Stuart Kettlewell clearly looking for freshness and energy, and I can see Celtic are preparing to make one or two as well. I'll let you know what they are in a minute.
We'll come back to you for that. Thanks very much, Martin. So Stuart Kettlewell trying to spark Motherwell into life in the second half with those fresh changes. Those have been a little bit of an issue recently for the Steelmen, but there's quality in the squad to get them. The Motherwell fans were applauding the move towards the touchline of Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, with a number of them quite happy with his effort in this game, and they hope to see more of the Australian as the season rolls on, and the impact that he can make. Celtic have the ball in their own half through Liam Scales, and he'll slide it for Trusty. He'll look out to the right side. Forrest, his heels back towards the white paint of the touchline. McCowan in the middle there to take, and that's a lovely pass in for Paulo Bernardo. Drops the shoulder to cushion it towards Forrest. Bernardo receives it back again. There's space over on the left side, but he opts to go back the way to Trusty. Celtic with the green and white hoops camped in the Motherwell half at the moment. Hatate now takes, rolls away from the midfield onto the right foot, slid to McCowan, taken there by Forrest, across, the touch from Kyogo, he can't send it on target, still alive, the ball's still in play. Hatate stabs it into the 6-yard area, it doesn't reach. Miller clears away for Motherwell. Paulo Bernardo is in the spot to pick up. Celtic really putting heavy pressure on Motherwell. Marvin Coletta manages to move it away, but it's a displaced pass as he was aiming for Tony Watt, and Celtic take it right back into their feet again. Scales just having a look to see if Motherwell will adjust any shape with the changes. Here's Vai for Celtic, back towards Scales, just looking to pull the claret and amber shirts around to create an open space. Forrest takes again after that dangerous delivery just a few moments ago. Scales, Vai, it's almost a forward line of 5 for him to Alex Vai. Continues onto the right foot, deflection takes it into the penalty area. Gordon heads away, he's trying to drag his defensive line out of the penalty box though. Here's Forrest, this is commanding from Celtic. They're so comfortable with the ball, and they have the 2-goal lead. 66 minutes on the clock. Hatate now, thought about the cross left footed, gets onto the right foot, strikes towards goal. They didn't look far away from this position. The fans behind the goal suggest from their reaction that it was going well wide, but now those Celtic changes will be made by Brendan Rodgers. So we'll cross over to Martin Dowden for news of those swaps.
Yes, will be a couple of changes for Celtic, and good news for Brendan Rodgers. Cameron Carter-Vickers will be one of those after injury. He'll come on to the park. It will be also James Forrest coming off. Nicholas Kuhn also coming onto the pitch. We wondered if he might actually sit this one out. He's been so influential and played so many minutes for Celtic. It will be Alex Vai also making way for Brendan Rodgers' side.
A flurry of changes from both managers over the last spell of the game. Motherwell have a player down over in the penalty area. I think it's Coletta who's getting some treatment, and there's a couple of Celtic players showing, I think it's Kyogo showing a bit of concern, but a cheer from the Celtic supporters as Cameron Carter-Vickers makes his way in the pitch, Pat.
Yeah, it is. It's good to see him back, but it also they're just checking to see which of the left-sided players is going to go out into that left-back position, whether it's Scales or Trusty. I think it's Trusty, maybe. I'm not sure.
I think it's going to be Scales. I think Scales, isn't it? No, changed again. No, changing again. They must know you're on the radio, Pagger. They're trying to catch you out.
Yeah, absolutely. They're still not sure.
No, they're not.
A little smell from Brendan Rodgers. He's just watching on, and now Coletta's slowly back to his feet as he makes his way off towards that far side touchline. Motherwell making another A couple of changes now too, as you see the fourth official come out with the board. So back over to the reporter on hand down there, Martin Dowden.
Yeah, obviously an issue for Marvin Coletta there. He's away at the far side, just trudging around the pitch. He will be replaced by Dan Casey. He's just made his way onto the field.
Interesting to see how the number of changes affects the rest of this game over the midway point of the second half at Fir Park. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2. Just joining us, goals from Luke McCowan and Alistair Johnston have Brendan Rodgers' side in control. They've been comfortable with the ball. Stuart Kettlewell has rolled the dice to make an effort into trying to get a goal back into this game.
I was just thinking Martin was very overworked there with all them substitutions that was coming on. Was it 3, 5, 6?
He's got a sharp eye, Martin Dowden, doesn't he? So we'll totally trust him with all that movement down between the two benches. Kofi Balmer puts the ball forward, looks for Maswanise. Hatate's running back, takes the touch, it's heavy into the path of Robinson. So across comes Trusty to swipe that one away right-footed. Kyogo up against Liam Gordon in the air, only one winner there, and it's a Motherwell defender. Here's Ewan Wilson, the wing-back, sends the ball in, it's dipping, and a tough one for Cameron Carter-Vickers to defend, but he slides to help out his goalkeeper and stabs that one behind. Motherwell corner, Motherwell 0, Celtic 2.
Yeah, it was a good ball in. It was a good decision, actually. I'm not sure if Kasper Schmeichel communicated properly to him, because it looked as if it was going straight into his hands. It was going to obviously bounce before him, and that's why I think maybe Carter-Vickers went and knocked it out for a corner.
Lennon Miller to take from the bottom left corner arc from where we watched the match. Miller swings it in right-footed. Schmeichel's down in the 6-yard area. Hatate looking forward for Nicholas Kuhn. And it's Ewan Wilson who's there back to defend, and it all he passed back to Oxborough. Just a look towards Kasper Schmeichel's back to his feet now. Trusty up in the air, doesn't win the header in the direction he wants it to go, and it's up in the air, and Zach Robinson comes back from an offside position, touches the ball, so it will be a Celtic free kick. Stuart Kettlewell just applauding his players to try and fill them with encouragement, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, Motherwell haven't done an awful lot wrong in the game. When you have a game plan, you have to hope your players can carry it out, and for large spells they have. We knew they weren't going to have lots of possession. The shape's been good. They created chances in the first half, but ultimately when you play against a better team with better players, they find a way, and Celtic have found a way this afternoon.
They have. I just thought that he might have changed the shape a little bit when he put on the substitutions. He's obviously still kept it almost with the back five and the 4 across midfield, and then the 1 up front. You know, you're 2-0 down. Would you go and maybe put an extra player higher up the pitch just to stop Celtic just dominating and trying to put them on the back foot a little bit?
The groan in the background that you hear is the Motherwell fans not happy that they haven't been allowed to take the throw in, but Maswanise was across the halfway line from where the ball went out of play by the time the ball was released from his hands, so it's drawn back by the referee for Balmer to take. Both Stephen and Pat touch on there. It just strengthens that line about how you need to take your chances in football, especially against opposition like Celtic, and now certain spells of the game you need to capitalise, especially Motherwell having those chances early on through Lennon Miller. Call it luck or what you will, the opportunity was there for them to take the lead. They didn't do so. Luke McCowan sparkled for Celtic to open the scoring. That'll be a frustration for Stuart Kettlewell. But things have gone very well for his side at times this season. Mentioned their form coming into this one, 6 wins in the last 8 in all competitions. Semi-final coming up in the League Cup too. The referee blows the whistle for a free kick to Celtic, and Maswanise, the substitute, will be dragged across by David Dickinson for a conversation. First the throw-in incident, and now an off-the-ball movement.
I didn't think there was much in it. I thought it was just really coming together, the two bodies, and I, you know, I didn't even think it, because Celtic had possession of the ball also. Just let the game go on.
Restarted now. Celtic have possession. The Rangers have taken the lead at Ibrox now, so Rangers 2, St Mirren 1. Václav Černý, understand, is the goal scorer there. Celtic leading 2-0 here at Fir Park. Cleared away by Motherwell. Can they create here? Robinson claims it was a foul. David Dickinson was keeping a watch from the other side of the halfway line. No whistle sounded, much to the Motherwell supporters' frustration. Here's Nicholas Kuhn up the other side, right wing onto the left foot, past the chain of Motherwell players, lays it off for Luke McCowan. It's spilled by Oxborough. Kyogo turns it back, and it goes, saved again. Motherwell with last-ditch defending. Hatate, and Oxborough collects it that time. A frantic couple of moments inside the Motherwell penalty area, and Motherwell somehow survive. It remains Motherwell 0, Celtic 2.
Yeah, it just goes back to the one where Motherwell fans were a bit frustrated where they didn't get a free kick. But if you're going to get body contact, go down and you'll get your free kick. You know, he stayed on his feet, and that's probably why the referee didn't give anything, and then Celtic break down the other end, and there was a little bit of a smash in the middle of Motherwell's box, and they got away with it.
Paulo Bernardo on the ball, back for Carter Vickers, wearing the yellow captain's armband. Should mention that Celtic also wearing the black armbands for former Celtic midfielder Tommy Callaghan. Outborn player, played over 250 times, won 6 league medals, notable for being the only player that Jock Stein ever signed twice after he signed him at Dunfermline Athletic. Celtic have scored twice in this one. McCowan and Johnston, they're looking for a third here. Dyson Maida bursting into the penalty box. The last touch adjudged to have come off the Celtic forward. And Motherwell will have the goal kick to take. And good news for Martin Dowden. We're going to hand you back over for yet another change, this time Brendan Rodgers and Celtic.
Yes, and it will be Kyogo Furuhashi who makes way for Celtic. Arne Engels coming on, Adam Ida as well coming onto the pitch, and it will be Luke McCowan also coming off, who's made his first start and made an impression once again.
We thought it was one, but Pat must have let the Celtic bench know that they're wanting to make you work hard, Martin, so thanks again. A big applause for
the modern game now, with so many substitutions come on, and obviously favours the bigger teams, I think, always, because they have got quality coming off the bench. Here we have Adam Ida coming on, and Ernie Engels in the middle of the pitch. Luke McCowan has a very, very good game, though. He's just fitted in perfectly, just kept the ball flowing, finding little pockets of space, playing off his first, second touch, and of course getting his goal, which he'll be delighted with.
Motherwell have let the ball slip in the middle. Celtic on the attacks towards Ida, who stops, and it comes off the post. I think Nicholas Kuhn was in his way. It may have taken a deflection off his teammate. The winger wants the corner. Ida's now asking the question too. And Adam Ida almost having an instant impact coming on as a substitute for Brendan Rodgers and Celtic, but remains 2-0 to the visitors.
I thought Kuhn actually was going to strike it first time myself on the volley, as it's just dropping over Adam's head, but he took it on his knee, and that just allowed Adam there to get a chance to get a shot away, and it would have been a dramatic start for him coming out to the game.
But it just shows you again how quick Celtic break. Tony Watt has a really poor header on the halfway line. One pass later, Adam Ida's hitting the post. So it just shows you can't afford to turn over possession when you're open, you're exposed, when you're attacking. You've got to be really diligent in everything that you do, because if not, Celtic just pick you off.
Lenny Miller with the ball out to the far side. O'Donnell helps it in field. It's sent forward.
He's offside.
The flag stays down at the moment, and it's clipped up into the penalty area. The flag remains down. Motherwell coming into the penalty box. It's looked over. Johnston will let it bounce towards Schmeichel, and now the flag is raised by the assistant. Pat, you called that one early from the line that we're looking across. It did look offside, but it seemed to take so long.
Listen, he was about at least 2 yards offside, and he's right in front of the assistant on that side. I know the VAR thing is, but I just love to see them change that. If you're so far offside and it's obvious, put the flag up. The ones that you're struggling maybe with, then keep it down and let VAR help you out.
I don't think the Motherwell players would be too thankful as well, as they were bursting forward, seeing the flag stay down. There was some time after it was sent into the area before it was raised by the assistant. Here's Lennon Miller for Motherwell. A half hour played in the second half. We've got about 15-14 minutes left to go. Motherwell really want to get a goal quickly. Stuart Kettlewell has done what he can to try and enforce some attacking movement, but Schmeichel hasn't been tested for some time in the Celtic goal. Here's Ewan Wilson, right-footed, lifts that one over the top for Tony Watt to chase up against Trusty in the air. Scales heads it back towards Carter Vickers. Robinson's interested in Clarton Amber. It's not clean. Miller heads it back for Maswanisi. Robinson, and now Rio Hatate does well to step in front of the Motherwell midfield and settles it down in the Celtic back line as Schmeichel rolls for Trusty. Carter Vickers on the edge of the Celtic penalty area. Johnston, the most recent goal scorer. Here's Engels. galloping down the right side. The return pass from Kuhn looked heavy, but Engels has got there in the corner, bottom right arc, trying to trick his way past, sends the ball into the penalty box. Miller stretches and takes it under control. He aims for Robinson, Carter Vickers at his heels. Motherwell want the free kick, nothing awarded. Now Wilson takes it off the toes of Johnston. Smart move, he's got options on the right and free. Stephen O'Donnell has it, rolled out wide for Tony Watt. It shows too much to Dyson Maida, who is electric as he zips in to take the ball away, but Motherwell recover. Lennon Miller will just settle it down back to Liam Gordon. Stephen, it gets to that point where Motherwell have to get a sense of urgency, so they are going to give the ball away a bit much, and they're going to have those openings at the back that Celtic will look to exploit.
Yeah, and I think they're going to bring on Moses Abayi as well, which tells me they're going to take him off a defender or take off another midfield player just to try and go for it, because ultimately you don't want to lose 4 or 5-0, but you might as well lose that going having a go and trying to get it back to 2-1 and seeing how it pans out.
There is Moses Abayi coming on. Stuart Kettlewell with another change. It's Lennon Miller who's making his way across, but it's not going to be Lennon Miller substituted. It's Tom Sparrow who's replaced on his first Premiership start for Motherwell. He looked lively at the beginning, the Welsh under-21 international. Scored here as a sub in the win against Hearts earlier in the season. Now Motherwell are going to have quite an attacking forward line, and Moses Abayi is a player that Stuart Kettlewell has already counted on for a goal. A couple of late ones this season, one against St Johnstone that took a victory, and one in a defeat against Aberdeen at Pittodrie.
Yeah, I think it's a back four now, which is an unusual position for Kofi Balmer. He's going to go play left back when he's normally centre half, and Ewan Wilson as a left back's going on to centre midfield.
Here's Ida, central point of the Motherwell half. Zips the pass for Nicholas Kuhn, right side, gets onto the right foot. He knows Johnston's about to overlap, and it's zipped in towards Maida. He just couldn't get the connection. It's still alive for Celtic. The cutback, Kuhn there. Takes it under control with a pass for Scales. Now Bernardo onto the right foot. Finds Trusty. Carter Vickers and his centre-back American partner have stepped up into the Motherwell half. Scales out to that left side, offers the option to keep it moving. Celtic doing that so well in this match, retreating when they have the ball, making sure they keep a hold of possession. Johnston works it for Bernardo. He knows he has a runner at his heels. Engels back for Johnston, and that will just tire Motherwell out. Goes out for the throw. Some Motherwell supporters appear to be heading for the exit now, with 80 minutes on the clock. Is there to be any late drama, as we've seen so often in this fixture between Motherwell and Celtic? 2-0 it stands to Brendan Rodgers' side. McCowan and Alistair Johnston, the goal scorers. Stephen O'Donnell sends the ball forward for Zach Robinson, the former Dundee man, into the midfield for Miller. There's another wonderful pass from the outside of the boot for Maswanisi now, who cuts across. There's no one arriving at the back post. The cross had a lot of power on it. Zach Robinson was moving in centrally towards the 6-yard area. The BA was there too, but Motherwell unable to test Kasper Schmeichel there. 2-0 it stays to Celtic.
The pass from Lennon Miller is absolutely sensational. The touch from Maswanisi is brilliant as well. I think he just puts too much pace on the cross. If he just feeds it in gently and allows, I think it's Zach Robinson or was it Moses Abayi trying to get at the back post just to guide it in, but it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, but the pass from Miller allows the player to almost play it first time into the space, and it's easy for him.
His header, and Schmeichel takes that one. Sorry to cut you off that.
No, if there's no pace in the pass, then you've got to take a touch and then go. But it was almost a first touch beyond the defender. It was really, really good pass.
One thing Moses Abayi provides up there for Motherwell now is an aerial presence, and Zach Robinson alongside can feed off of any second balls won in the air as they potentially look to go a bit more direct, Motherwell, in these final 7 minutes. Trusty for Scales.
I think Motherwell have actually gone 4-2-4. That's what they're trying to do. They have two wide players on. Tony Watts on the right hand side, Maswanisi on the left hand side, two centre forwards, and thinking, well, let's chase it and see what we can get.
Steelman's last victory was at Celtic Park in December 2015. Went behind to Nearbeaton's goal. Louis Moult levelled and then struck from the penalty spot. Celtic here on the attack once again. An important boot stops the pass getting through to Dyson Maida. It will result in a Celtic corner down on the right hand side of the pitch, and once again it means Scales, Carter Vickers, Trusty can all step forward into the penalty box.
Yeah, my only question would be, is Tony Watt out on the right hand side? Has he got the pace, the legs to really be effective if you're going to play that 4-2-4? It's almost...
Bernardo ready to deliver the corner. Oh, it's a teasing one in. Oxborough stuck hands out. I don't know if he got there, if it's headed away by a defender. Now Hatate strikes, but sends that one sailing over the crossbar. Packed 6-yard area from the corner for Aston Oxborough to deal with. Motherwell goal kick. 2-0 it stands to Brendan Rodgers' side. A number of changes has potentially, you could say, slowed the game down in the second half a little bit. Celtic are showing so many sides to their game in the last couple of weeks. Commanding performance against St Johnstone in the league recently, but are they about to concede here? Motherwell through on goal, could have a 3-on-3. It sits up and the strike isn't clean from a BA. Celtic will get away with it there, but as well won in the air. Lennon Miller has it now after Tony Watt's knockdown. Mazwanisi takes the touch in the box, left side of the penalty area, lets it roll towards the touchline, uses the support there in Kofi Balmer, right-footed, hangs up towards the back post. The header from Lennon Miller is right into the hands of Kasper Schmeichel, and I think the flag was raised by the assistant on the far side too, so that would have chopped off any potential result for Motherwell. But Kasper Schmeichel relatively unchallenged again, as he can take that one out the air. Motherwell 0, Celtic 2. They're listening to BBC Sports Sound. We'll have championship action on Tuesday. An action-packed week ahead with a full card in the Scottish Premiership on Wednesday. Celtic take on Dundee. Motherwell travel to Dundee United. Still just over 5 minutes to play in this one. Fans frustrated again at no decision made. And now the whistle sounds for the offside, and Celtic have the free kick. 2-0 Celtic, the score.
Yeah, and there's a substitution again for Celtic. I mean, they've cleared that bench, haven't they?
I gave you a break last time, Martin. I'm going to pass you on to this one and give us the information.
Well, I thought I'd been sacked. Okay, well, let's go for it. It will be Louis Palma who's coming on. A rare few minutes for him. He's been very much out of the picture of late. And one guy who never seems to stop is Dyson Maeda. He will stop now. He's coming off to make way for Palma.
Just like Brendan Rodgers has given to Dyson Maeda. I was just giving you a breather, Martin. And the change in now made. As Palma will enter. And it just ticks down the clock for Celtic too. A bit of the game management from Brendan Rodgers after what was a spirited performance in Bergamo in midweek in the Champions League, where I was about to touch on a moment ago the sides that Celtic have showed to their game.
Yeah,
Pat, you mentioned earlier, just sometimes the travel can have an impact with a midweek game coming up at home at Dundee as well. That might be in the back of the manager's mind.
No, but it's not really game management. It's more player management. You know, just getting them off the bench and giving the ones that's put a shift in, a bit of a rest, using the squad effectively, keeping them all involved. Also, I think is really good. And they're not weakened in any way, I don't think, by making those changes.
Well, I think that's their 5th international player they've brought off the bench. You know, Motherwell are bringing on projects and playing a centre half at left back just to try and get themselves back in the game. There's the gulf in quality in the Golfing squad.
All lone players in the squad from Premiership rivals. Tony Watt, one of those, on to try and help Motherwell's cause in the second spell. There's a slip by the Celtic defence, and there's a good recovery from Trusty. Schmeichel has the ball at his right foot, and he'll send that one diagonally up towards Nicholas Kuhn. Was there a nudge there on Balmer? Play continues. Hatate has it. It could be a 4-on-3 for Celtic, but Adam Ida can't take it in. It will be rolled back to Aston Oxborough, who sends the ball into the sky up towards the Motherwell front line. Almost just a slip in concentration there from Celtic, though, Stephen.
It was, but as a centre forward you have to anticipate that. Moses Abbey was too reactive. He has to be proactive and thinking something could happen here. See if that's Kyogo, for example, at the other end. He's in goal because he's always thinking ahead of a defender making a mistake, and he's going to try and capitalise from it. So there's a little difference.
I think also the question will be, you know, if Carter Vickers is fit, who's going to go on the left side centre back? Is it going to be Scales or Trusty? Both of them have done well, but Liam Scales would be very disappointed if he's been.
Nicholas Kuhn sends the ball over, and he does there! And Celtic, just like that, have a third goal. The ball at the back in defence, directly forward for Nicholas Kuhn, who's tricky as always on the right side. And what a dangerous low cross into the 6-yard area. Adamida anticipates, runs onto it and smashes it beyond Aston Oxborough. And with only a few minutes left on the clock, the Motherwell supporters head for the exit. The Celtic fans celebrate. It's Motherwell 0, Celtic 3.
Yeah, listen, it was a classic, wasn't it? You know, get to the byline, cut it back, striker running across defenders with a little bit of pace, just almost side foots into the back of the net. Nobody able to get close to him to put a tackle in. Yeah, Celtic 3-0 up, and probably overall, I don't know if they deserve 3-0, but they certainly deserve to have won the game, and I'll be very, very happy coming off the back of that result midweek, and now coming to Motherwell away from home, which is always difficult, and to win very convincingly 3-0.
Yeah, when you think back to the last time after a European game they went to Ross County, and it was dreadful, it was flat, it was low-key, and they managed to dig a result out today. They've been much more like themselves, but she's talking about Motherwell changing the shape and trying to get back in the game. Kofi Balmer, I don't imagine he's ever played left back before. Squared up one-on-one, couldn't cope with Nicholas Kuhn, and that's game over.
He's up against him again here, the German winger. It's a good work between Balmer and Mazwanisi to retrieve the ball for Motherwell. Is the Kofi Balmer name, sends that one forward towards Robinson. Carter Vickers is clipping away at the heels, making it difficult, and Celtic sweep up possession again. Hattati coming across the swarm with Engels, and now Trusty will hold in the centre circle. Brendan Rodgers Celtic set to go back to the top of the Scottish Premiership table on goal difference, joint on points with Aberdeen as it stands. Remember the other game in play at the moment over at Ibrox, Rangers 2-1 ahead against St Mirren. Diamondi scoring the first, Gogic equalising, and then Václav Černý scoring to put Rangers ahead once again. Cameron Carter-Vickers has the ball. Another highlight for the Celtic supporters, and Brendan Rodgers is the return of the big defender. Greg Taylor also back on the substitutes bench too to provide an option after some time out. Well, won't be rest this afternoon, you feel, especially with that game coming up in midweek at Celtic Park too. Motherwell will fancy their chances up against Dundee United in midweek. They've already disposed of Jim Goodwin's side in the League Cup quarter-final, which was here at Fir Park, as the fourth official comes out with the number 4 lit up on the board for 4 additional minutes to be played. Motherwell on the attack. Tony Watt has it. The Old Dundee United man tried to cross but can't get past the 2 front defenders, and Celtic will just slow things down and keep a hold of possession through Austin Trusty. He'll be closed down though by Stephen O'Donnell, who doesn't give things up. Fed into the middle. Ewan Wilson will take. Engels can't get there. Rio Hattati does well to win it back. Ida will drag the ball away as Nicholas Kuhn ahead on the right side. He's trying to get back on side. Ida's fouled, and another late challenge as the whistle went, and a yellow card shown to Liam Gordon. And I think referee David Dickinson remembers that conversation he had earlier with the screaming match from the Motherwell defender, and now Liam Gordon's name goes into the book. Motherwell 0, Celtic 3.
Yeah, now the mate is down, just holding his leg. I don't just maybe feeling sorry for himself a little bit. I don't think he's too badly hurt, but at least I hope not. Big games coming up for him.
Game just being delayed. I think VAR are having a look at the couple of challenges made in the midfield. Well, we'll wait on that. Stuart Kettlewell, he always raises the standards at Motherwell. Sometimes, even in good performances, he's disappointed. He wants to try things up. How be he looking at this game on reflection? He'll be happy, you'd think, that he's got a chance to go back into action on midweek against Dundee United up at Tannadice.
Yeah, well, you're always hopeful that you can take something from every game. Clearly today was always going to be a huge challenge. The missed opportunities in the first half were disappointment. You don't lose the game because of that. It certainly plays a part in it, because if you can get yourself ahead, it's a different game altogether. But as soon as Celtic get the goal, then they're always in the driving seat. The game becomes a little bit easier for them, and then eventually you have to open up, and you get exposed, and you get picked off, and that's what's happened.
Well, they will remain in 5th place, a couple of points behind Dundee United, so they know there's big incentive there in that match. And I believe there's going to be a review for a potential red card here at Fir Park, and David Dickinson signals the TV monitor with his fingers and comes across to the technical area. And it's the couple of challenges that happened in the middle. There was the first one there, the referee blew for the free kick, but then there was another challenge just after too.
Was it Kofi Balmer, I think it might have been Kofi Balmer who tackled Aramida. That was the one after the referee was on his way to book Lennon Miller, was it, midfield?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether the one from Liam Gordon was late.
Gordon.
Yeah, it was late, and you know, he's gone in with an undue force. Whether he was high, I'm not so sure. Obviously, Adam Aida's kind of almost looking at his. He's going to send him off.
And David Dickinson back on the field into the right-hand pocket.
Studs
and
up,
he will
probably.
go over to Liam Gordon. He has the yellow card in his hand to rule that out, and now the red card is shown to the former St Johnstone defender, and serious foul play. I believe a lunge on the ankle was the intention for the review, and now Motherwell reduced to 10 players. And it comes a sour end of a Sunday afternoon as they trail Celtic 3-0 at Fir Park.
Yeah, I'm more worried looking at Adam Aida hobbling around after it, whether he's been badly caught, because you know, they need that. He's a striker. Celtic don't have too many strikers, and that could be one that could cause him a few problems.
Martin Dowden, you've seen the challenge?
Yeah, for me it's a bit of a shocker, to be honest. He's just lunged in at Adam Aida. He appears to have caught him with studs at pace, so Adam Aida will be hoping that's not a serious injury.
Here's the ball in the box. Celtic with the strike towards goal, and Ewan Wilson clears it away almost off the line, and it goes behind for the Celtic corner. We just had a look towards Adam Aida as Celtic moved into the area. He's not moving comfortably at all. Now the delivery from the far side. Motherwell clear. Hatate heads across for Johnston. Maswanisi gets there first. He's cleaned out by Alistair Johnston in the air, and now with a goal to his name, a yellow card is added to that for the Canadian right back, and Motherwell will have the free kick. We're well into added on time. We've had about 4.5 minutes played, but obviously the VAR review for the Motherwell red card to Liam Gordon will see us play an extra couple of minutes. Motherwell 0, Celtic 3 on BBC Sports Sound.
Yeah, definitely a booking for Alistair Johnson. Just caught the player high and took him down, so the referee had no alternative after obviously sending the player off also just before that. So yeah,
is that a 3-game ban then for Liam Gordon? Because they've got a few big games coming up. We've got Dundee United away on Wednesday night. They've got Rangers next weekend in the League Cup semi-final. So if it is a 3-game ban, then he won't be involved.
With the injuries that Stuart Kettlewell has, with Paul McGinn, one of the key players out, the captain, it's not what he would want to happen. Celtic managed to slide through Paulo Bernardo to get the ball back to Kasper Schmeichel. Paulo Bernardo settled down again in the Celtic midfield in this one. Been in the middle of a strong performance from Brendan Rodgers' team once again in the Premiership. Cameron Carter-Vickers has the ball, but almost played 5.5 minutes of added on time. Paulo Bernardo has it in the centre circle, spins casually, passes to Trusty. There's the option left side. Scales has moved into the middle too, almost in that Greg Taylor role that we so often see for Celtic. The inverted heel back. It's back for Carter-Vickers in the centre circle. There's no need for Celtic to rush it forward, to just hold the legs as Nicholas Kuhn takes on the touchline. He'll go back in field. He picks up the pace with 2 chasing. Maswanisi goes to challenge. Aida has it. He has the option on the left side. The strike is into the side netting. Celtic so close to adding a 4th goal in the 6th minute of injury time. It goes wide, and it remains Motherwell 0, Celtic.
Yeah, the first time probably that big space opened up, maybe apart from Luke McCann's goal, but Adam Aida getting tired playing in Palma, he's got to score. All he's got to do is hit the target. I don't know whether he tried to give the goalkeeper the eyes.
A goal that would give Lewis Palma confidence, but it's a victory that Celtic have picked up another 3 points in the Premiership. The clocks go back. Celtic return to the top of the Premiership table. It finishes at Fir Park. Motherwell 0, Celtic 3.
Good job done as